Tonight, your live and exclusive Premier League action could be a big one in the end-of-season European shakedown. Yeah, I'm calling it early. Manchester United taking on Newcastle United in a battle at Old Trafford. It's already been a very busy day on the network. Talksport, the only place on national radio to bring you Boxing Day football. We're also the only place on national radio you'll hear all 10 Premier League fixtures between the 30th of December and the 1st of January, including Arsenal against Aston Villa and Liverpool against Leeds. We've just brought you an incredible game in the Championship. 8 goals over on Talksport 2 between Wrexham and Sheffield United, and I reckon we could get another late Christmas cracker here between Manchester United and Newcastle. I'm Hugh Wizencroft. Sam Matterface and former United captain, former Newcastle boss Steve Bruce is alongside us. Steve, I have to ask you about the way that Manchester United are defending at the moment. Lots has been made about the wing-backs pushing very high against Aston Villa. It was kind of a back four with the one attacking wing-back pushed higher up the pitch, and then when the other one dropped back, it was kind of back and forth, interchanging on opposite sides. But ultimately, we didn't see enough intensity, enough aggression from the back four.
Yeah, and they were a little bit different against Bournemouth. We noticed, we called it a bit of a hybrid, Sam and I, where it was, the boy Yoro looked as if he played against Semenyo, and Ahmad played high up the pitch and created a back four, really. Yeah, I mean, look, the two young lads have got to, learn their trade a little bit. I think this is crucial for Martinez to come back in. We all know that he will bring a bit of stability to it and know-how. He's a really, really good defender who they've missed. So, they're still learning their trade. It's a really difficult system to get right. When you do get it right, then obviously, hopefully, your defensive record gets better.
It's hard to get it right if you're not putting everything into getting back, if you're one of those wing-backs. And Diogo Dalot, particularly for that second goal, had a lot of question marks over whether he could have done a lot better, just in terms of the desire to get back.
To get back, yeah. I mean, this is the crucial thing about it. When you're high up the pitch and you're trying to win a game, or whether they're defending or not defending, he'll be disappointed. They'll be disappointed with the goals they give away, that's for sure.
It's interesting because I think both managers employ a kind of approach to the games where their teams need to be intense. They need to be working hard. They need to be aggressive. If they can't get their level really high in that regard, they seem to kind of be unable to control the tempo of games through their possession.
The big thing about the Premier League and why it's the spectacle it is that everybody's got this intensity. The players have got it, because if you haven't got it, then you can't play in the Premier League these days. There's not very many who are not athletic. Everybody looks for pace, power, the ability to run up and down the pitch. All of these things now are a given now to a Premier League footballer.
Let's talk about the two big centre forwards there. Nick Voltemada arriving at Newcastle for a club record £69 million from Stuttgart. 6'6", 23-year-old Germany striker has 9 goals in 23 appearances in all competitions. At the other end, Benjamin Sesko, who came to Manchester United from RB Leipzig, £74 million, 6'5", 22 years old, 2 goals in 14 appearances. I'll start with Voltemada first. What have you made of him? He's a bit of a cult legend already.
Yeah, he's different, isn't he? He's different, and he's got really, really good balance. He's not the quickest, obviously, but he's got very, very good balance and drifts into areas where he receives the ball. That's a decent return, what you've just said to me. 9 goals in 20-odd games is a really good return. And you'd have to say at this particular moment, he's been a bit of a success. Out of all of the players that came in the summer, this guy's been the one who's been arguably the good value for money. So, he's very, very different and done very, very well. As for Sesko, the other side, we hasn't really started for him now, and this is when the time, that hopefully he's got himself used to the surroundings, got used to what Man United's all about, and let's hope we can see a few good performances from him. Can he get a winner in the game tonight and get him up and running, kick-started?
Let's hope for goals this evening from both Voltemada and Sesko. A brilliant evening here. It's a dry, cold night in Manchester. Dozens of flags away to our left in the Stretford end. The Red Army, Manchester United. Manchester United are magic loads of them. I mean, there are so many flags away to our right-hand side and a heck of a noise away to our right-hand side. where the Magpies fans are seated. Should be a very special evening on the point of intensity from both sides. And starting games well, scoring goals early. Both have done that of late. Are you expecting a very eventful first 45 minutes?
Well, I hope I'm not putting the curse on it, but I expect goals tonight. I really, really do. I'm not so sure which way it's going to go, if I'm being brutally honest. But yes, I would expect to see goals. And look, this intensity that you talk about, we were here in the Bournemouth game, and it's arguably as good as I've seen Man United play for the first half an hour, 35, 40 minutes. They were excellent, especially going forward. Newcastle, on the other hand, will come here. They've got to improve their away form, but they've got really, really good players in a lot of areas. It should be a great game. It's a wonderful occasion, as we can feel already.
Well, it looks like Nick Voltemada is up for it as he comes out with his Newcastle teammates. He just punched Benjamin Sesko in the ribs and said, come on then, let's have it. Put his arm round him. He's ready for it. The Manchester United and Newcastle players are out on the pitch, and we are set for what could be an incredible evening here at Old Trafford. Two sides with big European goals who haven't necessarily been at their best. Ruben Amorim's Manchester United have shown glimpses, but the cold hard facts are just 2 wins in their last 8 Premier League games. It's just 3 wins in 8 for Eddie Howe's Newcastle. Will they pick up a notable win at Old Trafford tonight? It's live and exclusive to national radio right here on Talksport with the Premier League winning captain Steve Bruce and our very own Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Hugh. Good evening, everyone. Greetings of the season to you. It is a massive break from tradition that the Premier League serves up just a single course on Boxing Day, but it is time to dig in. Manchester United versus Newcastle United is the only offering of top-flight football on the calendar, and Talksport brings you exclusively to Old Trafford as the historic kings of Boxing Day look to unwrap a win without their creative talisman, Bruno Fernandes. They face a Newcastle United side desperate to cure a travel sickness that has seen them win just once away all season. But with the Magpies prone to taking leads and dropping them, an unreliable United starting to play some of the best football under Ruben Amorim, this solitary festive fixture promises to be a tense, entertaining, high-stakes cracker. The atmosphere is absolutely buoyant. And we were here 10 days ago for the Bournemouth game, Steve, and the noise was terrific that night as well, and they were treated to a real spectacle. We're expecting the same, aren't we?
Well, let's hope it's a classic. I mean, and this is what Boxing Day is all about, isn't it? Getting out in the night time, coming to support your team. And you have to say, when Old Trafford's like this, I know there's places where the roof might leak in places, but it's a wonderful, wonderful stadium to house a game of football, you have to say.
Absolutely. Manchester United have made a couple of changes from the side that lost at Aston Villa on Sunday. Lisha Martinez, who came off the bench in that game, captains the side in the absence of Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro comes into the midfield. Lomans is the goalkeeper, 3 at the back, Heaven, Martinez and Shaw. Dallo, Ugarte, Casemiro and Dorgu across the middle, with Mount, Šeško and Cunha up top. It's the first start for Martinez since the 1st of February because of a knee injury. For Newcastle United, they're unchanged from the draw with Chelsea. Ramsdale's their goalkeeper. Miley continues at right back in the absence of Livramento. Chao, Cher and Hall make up the back 4. Bruno, Guimaraes, Tonali and Ramsey through the middle, with Murphy, Voltemada and Gordon, who has scored only penalty kicks since the beginning of the year. In fact, would you believe this? He has not got an open play Premier League goal since January the 15th, Anthony Gordon.
Wow, that's quite incredible. That is practically a year ago. I would never have got that.
Well, we may have been starved of Premier League action today, this Boxing Day, but we have seen an 8-goal thriller at Wrexham, Coventry win again, and Burton thrash Northampton. And tomorrow kicks off a run of 13 live commentaries from the top league between now and next Sunday. Christmas may be over, but Talksport is the gift that keeps on giving. And we have got Manchester United against Newcastle live and only on this Boxing Day on Talksport. Steve Bruce, the former Manchester United captain and ex-Newcastle boss, is with me, and we are the lucky ones, Steve. We're at Premier League football on Boxing Day. We got a real gift the last time we were here. And Manchester United have got to make sure that they defend a little bit better if they're going to get all 3 points today.
Well, it's quite, from the first whistle, you can see Newcastle are going to go right after them. They're not going to wait and sit deep after them. They're going to go right up against them, which is what they're trying to do. So, yeah, it'll be a really, really interesting start for both teams.
Manchester United shooting from left to right, red shirts, white shorts and black socks. It's the black and white stripes of Newcastle United attacking the goal away to our left. Lewis Hall just tries to slalom through the middle of the park. He's a little bit late from Ugarte. Gives away a free kick. Lewis Hall doesn't score too many goals, but he has scored twice here for Newcastle United. Once in a League Cup game, once in a Premier League defeat. Here is Matheus Cunha, who's playing some of his best football in Manchester United colours. Slaloming through the middle of the pitch and then losing the ball to Bruno Guimaraes. Gordon onto Voltemada, back to Gordon again, tries to take on Heaven, who touches the ball clear. Casemiro mops up and sends it forward on towards Mount. Mount travels down the right side of the centre circle, out wide it goes to the right, picked up by Dorgu, now right side of the area. He travels towards the edge of the box and then tucks it back, and immediately the Newcastle players all funnel back into position very quickly. Their recovery was excellent there as Manchester United came forward. I just wonder whether there was enough zip in the attack, Steve.
Well, this is the problem that Man United are going to have now with the two wing backs they've got Dorgu and Dalot in particular. Can they have the ability to go past people and produce a cross like Dorgu had the chance to, and unfortunately he went backwards again. So it's something which is going to be they're going to lack that bit of creativity.
Shaw down the left hand side getting to the edge of the area. I think we've got a Christmas bonus here that we weren't necessarily expecting. I don't think Manchester United are playing three at the back tonight. I think there's every chance here that they're playing with two central defenders in Martinez and Heaven, with Dalot as the right wing back and Dalot as the right back, Shaw as the left back, and Dorgu almost playing further on. Let's keep an eye on it as Manchester United win the first corner of the game. Over on the far side, 2.5 minutes in. You're listening to Talksport. Mason Mount to take it, right-footed, in towards the near post. Flicked on by Casemiro. He got to that near post. It's such a trademark of his. He got released on the edge of the 6-yard box and glanced the ball over the top of the crossbar, but he made a really good run off the back of Malik Chiao, who's being occupied by Martinez, and he couldn't get proper contact on the ball.
Do you know, I think you could be right with the back four, Sam. And by the way, you'd fancy Casemiro in that position. He's made a wonderful run across it, and really it's a big opportunity that he's given up, and he's usually so clinical.
Yeah, it looks like a back four of Dalot, Heaven, Martinez and Shaw. Slightly lopsided possibly. Dorgu playing further up on the right hand side. No out-and-out winger on the left. Ugarte, Casemiro and Mount in the centre, and Šeško and Cunha up top. We'll keep an eye on it and see how it develops over the course of the evening as Cher pops the ball through the middle. Dorgu gets back, helps out his defence, sends it away into centre field. No one to aim at, so he runs laterally through the centre circle and finds Cunha. Cunha turns it back towards Casemiro. Casemiro travels out towards the right hand side. Here is Heaven back to Martinez, and then Martinez pings the ball out towards the right fullback in Diogo Dalot, who did pick up the captain's armband when Bruno Fernandes was substituted. It's a lovely ball into Mount. Mount puts it into the channel down the right side for Šeško to run into. He gets on onto the ball and just shields it away from Malik Chiao. Guides it back towards halfway. Dalot keeps hold of the ball, and Manchester United have settled into a bit of possession here and knitted together a couple of passages of play that have just threatened Newcastle and planted the seed of doubt into their minds about their attacking capabilities. Dorgu into Mount, looks for the return, goes round the corner. Dorgu goes down under pressure from Hall. Referee, who is Anthony Taylor, wags his finger and says no free kick, play on.
I think you're absolutely right, Sam. It looks as if they're playing a back four. I'm looking at it religiously now to say, is it a hybrid like last week? It doesn't look like it at all. Dorgu looks as if he's playing on the right hand side, and they've got two in the middle of the park, and Cunha towards the left slightly, and Mason Mount maybe off the front of Šeško.
Yeah, it's a fascinating tweak, even more of a tweak than we saw last week. So he's evolving game by game now.
We never thought we'd see the day, did we? I mean, he was adamant that this is his system, but I suppose with the problems they've got personnel-wise.
Tonali trying to chase down into the right corner of the field. Martinez goes across and blocks it, holds him off, shows good strength. He is a bit of a warrior. He's Lisandro Martinez, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick over on the left-hand side. It's the first time under Ruben Amorim Manchester United have started a Premier League game with a back four formation. They last did so November 2024 against Leicester City, the final game before Ruben Amorim arrived. That was when Michael Carrick was in charge temporarily of the team. And we did a big deep dive into Amorim's selections over the course of his career. We couldn't find any examples of a previous use of a back four when he was at Sporting.
I have to say, with the problems he's got, and particularly defensively, then you can understand that he's picking a team which he hopes he's going to get a result. And whatever formation you play, if you get your best players on the pitch, and that's probably what he's trying to achieve.
The other thing that he has done as well is that he has picked Dorgu on this right-hand side to block up the right channel, where both Hall and Gordon are very lively. So he's decided to double up on this side to make sure that threat is neutered. It was Ruud van Nistelrooy, wasn't it, who was in charge for that Leicester game here.
Correct.
Carrick was the previous caretaker. There's been a few.
There has, yes.
I was looking at Luke Shaw's career recently, and I realised that he'd played under 8 different Manchester United managers, which is quite some achievement, isn't it?
Wow, it's quite incredible over what an 8-10 year period he's played. Quite remarkable.
Ball out of play on this near side. 7 minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport on this Boxing Day evening under the lights here at Old Trafford. And it's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0 with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Manchester United versus Newcastle. Live right now, search Now Sports. Ball thrown in down the touchline by Lewis Hall. It's up towards Cunha, who's nudged off it. He wants a free kick that the referee isn't going to give. It's squirmed out to Murphy, far side the right. Bruno Guimaraes gets the wrong side of Ugarte, but he reacts well, Ugarte, and the Uruguayan wins the challenge in the centre of the park, which wins it back for United. Šeško then takes it off of Miley, who wasn't looking in his wing mirrors. It goes back out to the left-hand side. And it's been quite a fiery start to the game. No quarter given or asked so far, and no real efforts for either team. The best chance we've had from the corner kick, one over on the far side, swung into the near post, and Casemiro, who often occupies that area when Manchester United are creating from corners, sending it over the top of the crossbar. Ruben Amorim did say before the start of the game, we're well prepared. We know we've got some players out, but there's no excuses. We need to perform well. We're performing so much better than in some of the last games, but for some reasons we haven't been winning those games. We need to be physical and make Newcastle feel uncomfortable. Well, one of their players is already feeling rather uncomfortable, and Aaron Ramsdale has got a bit of an issue with, I don't know if that's a top of the hamstring problem he's got.
Is this so Eddie can get on a bit of new instructions to them? It seems to be the new way forward, because the goalkeeper obviously doesn't have to come off. You hope there's nothing wrong with him, but by the way he's calling a few players over here, it could be that tactical one already, where he's probably seen Man United line up in a back four and wants to maybe change something.
Sounds a bit cynical there, Steve. Is that one of the tricks that you used at Blackpool last year?
Yeah, it didn't work, obviously.
Nick Pope has as a token gesture, I think, come out to warm up on the touchline.
Yeah. I think it's one of them ones where he's given instructions to his team.
Well, Anthony Gordon came over to the near touchline and got a debrief from Eddie Howe. Jason Tindall was involved in that with Lewis Hall as well. The instructions from Hall now being passed on to Cher. Gordon is having his say too. Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali and Murphy are now having a conversation over on the far touchline. So there's a bit of a tactical game of chess being played. And funnily enough, Aaron Ramsdale looks as if he's okay.
Well, as I said to you, that one what everybody seems to be using now. Let the goalkeeper go down. There's all sorts of signals and signs for him to go down. Yeah, because obviously he doesn't have to come off. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of tweak they're going to make again of Newcastle now.
Well, I was putting it down to the miracles of modern medical science that they could do so much so quickly in those brief interventions with the players. Ball played, given away on the edge of the area by Ramsdale, and now it's picked up by Cunha. Cunha to the edge of the box, feeds it into Ugarte, couldn't get his shot away, and it comes back into the area from the left-hand side from Cunha, and eventually Newcastle United get it clear.
It fell to the wrong person in Ugarte, didn't it? He's the one that you wouldn't quite fancy in terms of scoring a goal, or having the guile to put it in the bottom corner, but what a good opportunity it was.
Yeah, there was a real mistake there by Ramsdale, giving the ball into the edge of the box. Cher didn't deal with it properly. And Manchester United keep turning it over high up because they've just nicked it off Lewis Hall. Mount has won it, and now fed Dorgu, who's going down the outside of the penalty area, produces a low cross into the box. Might come through to Šeško. He does, but he took too long to turn and fire that in, and he really should have hit it first time, but he looked cumbersome as he turned, and in the end he took so much time to get round the ball and get a shot on goal.
It took forever for him to get it out of his feet, didn't it? And arguably the easiest one would just to leave, set it up for Cunha, who's charging into the box. Wrong option he's taken, and looked a little bit untidy, didn't it? Poor finish with his left foot.
He just couldn't get round, and he looked like he had the turning circle of an articulated lorry there, didn't he? It did take so long for him to get round and get his foot behind the ball. No danger for Aaron Ramsdale, but that's twice that Manchester United have turned the ball over high up the field and caused problems for Newcastle United. It remains 0-0. Here's Voltemade going down the other side. Covering for Dalot was Dorgu, blocked the attempted ball into the centre, and it goes out for a corner away to our left. No side has won more Premier League games on Boxing Day than Manchester United. No team has lost more than Newcastle United, and a win for United should take them into the top 5. Newcastle can leapfrog Manchester United with a victory. First corner of the game then for the away side in Newcastle United, decked out in black and white stripes tonight, attacking the goal away to our left. We play 12 minutes of the game. Manchester United have tweaked their formation. They've gone to a back 4 this evening. We'll keep an eye on the Newcastle response after their brief timeout was called by Aaron Ramsdale. The ball into the near post, flicked on towards the goalkeeper. It's pushed away by Lommans, and then Voltemade can't finish it off. I think Anthony Gordon was in there as well, but Manchester United just about survived and managed to get the ball towards the halfway line, but that was a really good chance.
Really good chance, and that's 2 corners from both teams now, with both creating an opportunity.
Oh, brilliant ball from Hall to find Murphy down the left side into the penalty area on his right foot, tries a shot, takes a deflection, goes over the top and goes out for another corner for Newcastle United over on the far side. But Dalot slightly caught a little bit too high up there. The ball played inside him, and Murphy went careering down the left-hand side, got to the edge of the area, cut in on his right foot and caused problems.
Yeah, Cunha's got to do better in the middle of the pitch. He's given the ball away a couple of times now in the middle of the pitch and put his team under real pressure. Great pass from Hall.
Brilliant flick on at the near post from Bruno Guimaraes it was, who got up there to head the ball towards the goalkeeper. Lommans made a really good save. He's made a few of those. Here is Murphy into the box from the corner, sent to Malik Chiao at the far post, headed away by United's Dorgu. Head injury stops the game, and as a result Manchester United looking to deal with the ailment that Dorgu has picked up. And again, it was another high ball into the box which just caused a little bit of panic inside that penalty area. Dorgu still holding his head away to our left hand side, and Mason Mount now coming over to just get a brief intake of fluid. Ruben Amorim talking to the 4th official. In fact, he's now having a conversation with Jason Tindall, I think. It's going to be an uncontested drop ball inside the 18-yard box away to our left-hand side. We played 14 minutes. This is Talksport. Remember, tomorrow we've got Nottingham Forest against Manchester City. That kicks off at 12:30. Game Day Live takes you around the grounds from 2:30. Troy Deeney and Dean Ashton will be with Adrian Durham. Sunday we take you around the grounds in the Premier League and beyond. Sunderland Leeds and Crystal Palace against Tottenham. Monday night we've got Coventry Ipswich for you, and the EFL kick-off show with all the goals as they go in from all of the big games in the EFL that night. Tuesday, well, we've got it all, everything, all the games on Tuesday night from the Premier League live on the Talksport network. Just download the Talksport app, you'll have access to everything for free. Here's Ramsey, far side, the Newcastle United right. Infield it goes to Lewis Miley, then back towards the halfway line, where it's pushed by Malik Chiao into the centre of the pitch, and Fabian Cher. A little bit loose from Anthony Gordon, almost allowed Šeško to nick it, and the ball was sent long. How do you help the confidence of Benjamin Šeško, who's missed a presentable chance today?
Yeah, well, that's what he needs. He needs an opportunity, doesn't he, and take one. And it's amazing for a striker if the score, and all of a sudden that little bit of confidence comes roaring back to you. Unfortunately, he looked so untidy trying to turn on his left foot. But let's hope that he gets another opportunity.
Bruno Fernandes is here, by the way, tonight. Very wrapped up in a warm hat, making sure that he is braved against the cold. Ball has been cleared by Manchester United to the far side. The Newcastle United right, where Murphy has headed the ball almost into the path of Luke Shaw. It's then played infield and collected by Martinez, and United have the ball just short of the halfway line. Just feel with Šeško, he just needs a couple of bits of luck to go his way, really, to see if he can get off and running in a Manchester United shirt properly. He has scored a couple of goals already. It's not like he's without them. Goals came against Sunderland and Brentford, but it just hasn't really settled yet into Manchester United colours. Share with a header away off the ball. He's been cleared upfield by Lomans. Hall, who's been brilliant since coming back from injury, is wrestled with by Casemiro, gives away a free kick in a dangerous area of the field, down the left-hand side, in an area where Newcastle can create from. And it's going to be a Newcastle United free kick. 16 minutes in, here's Steve Bruce.
Yeah, it's been a cagey sort of start, hasn't it? You know, two big chances have come from set pieces, and how valuable they are. And here's another one from Newcastle in a situation where they're halfway in Man United's half, and it looks as if they'll hit it towards the big guys.
Yeah, well, and they've got quite a few of those.
Oh, they certainly have.
Including Big Nick, who is 6'6" and lurking on the edge of the D. Malik Chow is up from the back as well, and he is the target here. It comes off Share, then Chow tries to get the pieces. It's a little back heel by Chow, and then he turns and tries to shoot. It's blocked by Casemiro, then cleared away by Shaw up to the halfway line, and now it's with Lewis Hall, and they get to bring it back again. Manchester United's Christmas celebrations probably toned down after losing at Villa, but largely it was a very good performance, especially attacking wise. As it was here against Bournemouth, the key will be to try and plug those gaps in defence where they're missing key personnel. No De Ligt, no Maguire. Here is Murphy into the box looking for Ramsey. A little flick on, chested down by Dalot. Clearance isn't great. He sort of shinned that into the air. Eventually Manchester United get it towards halfway, but Tonali wins it. Brings it forward. Foul by Ugarte. And that's going to be a free kick again, in an area where Manchester United don't want to be gifting possession.
Yeah, they're vulnerable from set pieces, as we've seen, already. And here's another one, a silly free kick they've given away in the middle of the pitch. And this is going to come into their box too, so they've got to do defending. They've took it short.
And it's gone wide to Anthony Gordon, who's crossed into the box. Is a scything one towards the far post, headed away by Shaw, picked up edge of the area by Ugarte, and he runs it out towards the far touchline where he's being chased by Murphy. One back by Murphy. Again, that's happened far too many times. Bruno Guimaraes, neat touch into Murphy. Back in field, Ramsey again. Now on the edge of the box. Oh, he's overcooked that down to the path of Bruno Guimaraes, but he's pulled it back anyway. Might still come back for Murphy. And it's eventually smuggled behind by Manchester United, who all of a sudden, after a relatively bright start, have just lost their momentum in the game.
Yeah, they keep giving the ball away in the centre of the pitch. This time was Ugarte, and Cunha's done it once or twice, and now Ugarte in dangerous situations, giving the ball back to Newcastle very, very cheaply.
Newcastle have been pretty good on the surface at St James's Park, but away from home they've really struggled this season. And that is a major storyline for Eddie Howe that he's got to try and resolve. They've lost 4 of the last 5 Premier League away games. Decent ball towards the far post, headed away by Dorgu though. Mount trying to bring it down and scurries out to the right hand side, plays it against Tonali well, and wins the throw-in down by the corner flag away to our right hand side. Manchester United just lost momentum, I think, a little bit after Newcastle made their alterations, having watched United start with a back 4, called a little time out, and then have just refocused their attentions on that. Here is Dorgu going down the right side. Cunha's carrying the ball. He's looking for Dorgu, who gets engaged by Share. Mount keeps hold of it, tries to poke it infield. Bruno Guimaraes comes back and wins it. And tackle by Cunha, his Brazil teammate, sees the ball spill out into the left fullback position, but then Ugarte has won it back. The referee has given a free kick here. The Manchester United crowd thought that was fairly won.
I think it was too. I think it's a really, really soft one that he's got away with, Bruno.
Bruno Guimaraes is suggesting that he was fouled. Ugarte saying he wasn't. Uruguay against Brazil over in the far corner. There was a little bit of contact on the back leg of Bruno Guimaraes, and that's what Anthony Taylor said was the reason for giving the foul.
I think Newcastle have made a tactical tweak as well, where you've seen Lewis Miley follow Cunha really, and it's been Ramsey, Jacob, to play at the sort of a right back area to play against United's back four.
Yeah, they have shifted it slightly. Murphy's been detailed to do a little bit more defensive work, hasn't he? Ball's been sent out towards this near touchline where it's been played on by Gordon to go down the outside of Dallow now, who scampers in towards the left wing position, then checks back wearing that black headband, holding back his blonde flowing locks. He twists one way then the other. Dallow ends up on the floor. He plays it into Hall inside the area. He travels down the left side of the box, produces a cross in towards the near post, headed away by Casemiro, and it's out and away for another corner to Newcastle United, who has started brightly and are knocking at the door.
They certainly are down this side. They're a threat, aren't they? But certainly with Gordon with his pace, and Lewis Hall's had a tremendous start to the game.
Yeah, he always does against Manchester United. When he plays Manchester United in Newcastle colours, he always has a good game. Scored an absolute perler here from the edge of the box in the League Cup game. Here is Tonali into the near post, and receiving it short is Ramsey. Back to Tonali, deep ball towards the far stick. Shares coming around the back. Lomans is going to grab the back. He does. Wants to get rid of it quickly, and Dorgu is going to receive it, but Hall is across again, and Hall puts his body in between ball and man, allows it to go out of play, and is out for a throw-in over on the far side. It is Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. 21 minutes played on Talksport on Boxing Day. And whatever you got for Christmas, if it wasn't the Talksport app, make sure you do that now. If you are already lining up your gift receipts and taking back some of those jumpers that people bought you and you don't quite
I got
want.
a couple of really special ones, I have to say.
Did you?
Yeah, very, very lucky.
Oh, right, well, lucky you. Here is Bruno Guimaraes down the outside, trying to play it into the path of Murphy, straight into an offside position for Newcastle, down the far side of the pitch, and it's a flag that goes up very quickly for a free kick over on the far touchline. What was your special jumper like?
Oh, I can't reveal.
Oh, okay.
Can't reveal.
Yeah, it's one of those designer numbers.
Bit of a cashmere number, I have to say. Maybe a little bit bright for me at my age, but there you go.
I think you can pull it off.
My birthday next week too, you know.
Double bubble.
Oh, wow.
I bet that was really annoying. I bet people buy you joint gifts, don't they?
But the worst part was that Sir Alex Ferguson's birthday is the same day as mine.
So he always slightly.
He always knew how old I was, especially getting towards the end of my career. I was 33 and I was pretending I was 30.
He wasn't having it, no?
He wasn't having it at all.
Here is Tonali sending it forward towards Gordon. Back it goes towards Baltamada, but Martinez will get there first for United. He'll send it down the left side of the Newcastle defence. It wasn't a great header by Chow, and Sesko's done well to backheel the ball into the path of Cunha, who runs at the defender, gets on the outside, low ball into the near post, safe down low by Ramsdale, and it's parried away.
Dorgu was free at the far post. If he had got a sight of him, and could he play it, have stood it up at the far post maybe? Well, big chance.
Dorgu was careering into the box on the left, on the right edge of the 6-yard area, and Cunha decided to go for goal from what was quite a tight angle, really.
Yeah, Dorgu's free. Look, can he lift it over the back of the defenders?
Didn't quite work out that way for Manchester United, who have a long throw in towards the near post, flicked away by Voltamada, drops for Dorgu, who parries it. Oh, brilliantly! On the volley!
What a goal!
Past the goalkeeper and into the net. And Patrick Dorgu has hit a rasper, a Christmas cracker out of the sky, and past Ramsdale in a flush. It's his first goal for Manchester United, and they don't come much better than that.
Wonderful strike onto his left foot. I thought they were going to run into each other before he absolutely smashes it into the bottom corner. Great strike, great technique, wonderful goal.
He buried that. Edge of the area, left-footed, firing it beyond a despairing Ramsdale, and Manchester United lead by a goal to nil.
Newcastle will be really disappointed they've won the first header and there's nobody near them. But what a strike and what a finish.
Well, the big question now is whether or not Cunha is standing in an offside position in front of the goalkeeper. Keep an eye on Cunha here. I'm not sure he is.
No, it started. I don't think he can give it there. He was never going to save it. No chance.
Brilliant from Dorgu. And just moments before that, Steve was moaning about the fact that he wasn't picked out by Cunha at the far post when they had an opportunity to do so. Well, boy, did he pick out the bottom corner there, and Ramsdale gets across, gets a little hand on it, can't keep it out.
Just the pace of it, the technique is wonderful. What a first goal for United that is, and for him in particular. When we talk about confidence, it hasn't really happened for Dorgu over the last 6 months or whatever, but what a wonderful, wonderful strike.
And the manager's referenced that, hasn't he? He's talked about the fact that Dorgu sometimes looks a different character to the one that wears the Denmark shirt. He's given him some confidence today by playing him a little bit higher up the pitch, and he's certainly got involved. He's delivered his first Premier League goal for Manchester United. They lead by 1-0. 26 minutes gone. This is Talksport.
Yeah, Newcastle will be disappointed with their defending. I think as Walter Mardam had won the first challenge, he's won a towering header to the edge of the box, and not any of his mates anywhere round the ball to make a challenge.
Here is Gordon down the left-hand side, trying to get to the byline. Can't get the cross in. Stopped by Dalot. Didn't go out of play, did it? Yes, it did. Eventually, it's out for a corner. Manchester United lead Newcastle by 0-0. For the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Manchester United to win the game at 13-20, 20-13 on. Newcastle are 18-5 to win the game. The draw is 29-10. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18 plus, speakgambleaware.org. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0. It's the latest scoreline as the ball goes in towards the near post, flicked away towards the edge of the area, and Manchester United got a counter-attack on here, and Cunha is leading the charge. In fact, it's 3-on-3, and Newcastle are struggling to get back. It might be 4-on-4 soon. They've sent it to Šeško down the left side of the penalty area. He's crossed back into the centre, is fended away by Ramsey in front of the goalkeeper. Comes back to Dorgu again, who tries to tease it towards the far stick. It's above and over Ramsdale, but then he just reaches his arms up into the sky and just prevents it from nestling in the far corner, and it's cleared away by Newcastle United.
I wonder if that was a cross, or was he trying to be a chip to the far post? Was he trying to chip the goalkeeper?
He's full of confidence now, probably going to go for the latter.
Yes.
Just saw Ramsdale stray off his line slightly and then backpedal as the ball went over his head. It remains 1-0 to Manchester United. Patrick Dorgu with the opening goal of the night. Newcastle got to find a way to respond, and once again on the road they find themselves behind. Here is Cher, just short of the halfway line, clips it up and sends it down to the left, headed away by the defender Dalot. Dorgu trying to spin and turn and run at Hall, and he careers down the left, feeds it into Mount, who looks for Šeško. Didn't have enough there, Šeško, to get in front of the defender. Cunha's put pressure on Bruno Guimaraes. It's spilled back to Miley, who gets it back to his goalkeeper, and it goes all the way back to Ramsdale and is cleared away. This is Talksport. 1-0 score for Manchester United. I just think that Manchester United have just caused a few issues for Newcastle by playing Dorgu in this odd position high up on the right hand side, which maybe Eddie Howe wasn't expecting.
Well, they certainly weren't, because none of us were expecting it. Well, first time we've seen Amarin change really, and it is a rigid back four, and he's playing Dalot obviously against
Lewis Hall,
yeah, and Dorgu's higher up the pitch on the right hand side.
Dalot and Dorgu against Gordon and Hall has just sort of unsettled Newcastle United. It's made it a little bit more difficult. It hasn't meant they haven't had any joy going forward down that left-hand side, Steve, but they've had less than maybe they would have expected.
I think it's a big shock. They've probably practiced over the last 2-3 days of playing against United and playing in a three, the back three, and playing against wing backs and what have you. And it's obviously not the case. They're a rigid back four, with Mount playing off the front basically, and Cunha playing off the left, if you like.
And the good news, I suppose, for Newcastle is that Manchester United don't keep any clean sheets, so they will probably get one or two chances as the game goes on, they will feel. Here is Voltemada, dropping deep to pick the ball up for Newcastle United, the visitors who find themselves behind. His brace was no less than Newcastle deserved after a first half display which was absolutely dominant at the weekend. And then they started brightly in this game, but they find themselves behind and they keep losing the ball in midfield, and United have got it again. And they've got numbers over. And one of those is Shaw over on the left-hand side. Dorgu's free at the far post once again, and again they don't find him. They go for Šeško instead. He runs towards the near post, but he's tightly marked. And the better ball was to Dorgu, who was free at the far post.
He was free at the far post again. Hall was high up the pitch. Newcastle have given the ball away again in the middle of the pitch, and United have counter-attacked on them. Another really wonderful opportunity they had.
Yep. Here is Martinez taking the ball over halfway line. Half an hour gone in the game. And Dorgu getting free down this right-hand side has just meant that there's a bit of confusion in that back line as to who's got to pick him up when they get forward. And he's getting forward again, Dorgu, down the right side, causing problems for Cher.
We're seeing all sorts of tricks coming out now, aren't we? It just shows you that little bit of confidence, what the goal's given. He was breathed a bit of confidence into the lad after a great goal he scored.
Flicking the ball through his legs, trying a little Cruyff turn on the edge of the area with his back to goal.
Wonderful, wonderful to watch.
He looks a lot happier. Here is Casemiro at the base of the midfield for Manchester United. And I think the game, again, is another sort of chaotic example of what the Premier League can bring. These two very much the entertainers of the league at the moment, and Cunha has got away from Miley down the left-hand side. He's escaped into the penalty area. He's got Mount free on the edge of the box. He tries to pull it back towards him. It's blocked by Murphy, who got back to help out his defence, and it goes out for a corner over on the far side. Good run by Cunha, and he did just try to tee that one up to get it back to the edge of the area where both Šeško and Mount had pulled off. But Murphy did the defensive work well.
He's wonderful to watch when he gets in full flow, and he's got that natural ability to run with the ball. He's gone away from Miley as if he wasn't there really, has he? Glided past him.
Going to be a corner to be taken by Mount over on the far side. And remember that Manchester United have created quite a few chances. They've scored from every 11.4 corners this season. Casemiro towards that near post is always the move. That ball into the near post this time yielded a foul against Bruno Guimaraes, and he was being pulled down, I think, by a combination of Shaw, as he was certainly at the forefront of it. It's going to be a free kick on the edge of the 6-yard box, and that's a bit of light relief for Newcastle United, who have found themselves under the cosh the longer this first half has gone. Patrick Dorgu scored his first goal for Manchester United in his 38th appearance. His 31st shot, 6 of those on target. And United have a record of winning 6 and drawing 5 when scoring the opening goal in the Premier League this season. They haven't lost yet.
They'll be in serious trouble, Newcastle, if they keep giving the ball away like they are in the middle of the pitch. That's 3-4 times now they've been slack and giving the ball away. And United are picking every second ball up, looking at threat again.
Brilliant. Šeško into Mount, onto Cunha, and now onto Dorgu, who gets into the box on his right foot, shoots at the goalkeeper who makes the save, parries it out into the edge of the 6-yard box. And once again, Manchester United causing problems for Newcastle. Good header by Šeško in the middle of the park, which started that move, but they very quickly worked it out to the right-hand side. Dorgu, maybe a little bit too excitedly, went for goal when he might have had better options.
He had slightly better options, but it's great to see the positivity of the lad. He's took it on his weaker foot, made the goalkeeper make a save, and who knows, they could have had the rebound.
Here is Dalot on the right-hand side. Mount picking up positions in between the lines as well, which has caused them a problem, and he's just fed that ball into Ugarte. Can't quite reach it, and it's away by Malik Thiaw.
You can see the confidence in your mate as well, mate, and the boy Mount, and he's confident at the moment. All of a sudden, he's nearly picked a wonderful pass, and all of a sudden, his body language, over the last month or so, has grown into the Mason Mount that we all know. What a good player he is.
For the last 10-15 minutes, and he seems to be running the show, just pushing the ball into the right areas, starting those moves, playing key contributions as Manchester United look to get on the front foot again. Dalot on the right-hand side. His cross is blocked by Bruno Guimaraes. So he uses his hands to block that. It does go into the air and spirals up into Ramsdale, whose clearance immediately is picked off by Heaven. He rushed that, and it comes back again. And Newcastle United once more on the back foot. Manchester United coming forward, leading by a 1-0. And after having to try and stave off many a comeback this season, all of a sudden Newcastle have got to try and find a comeback of their own here. Martinez, centre circle for United, taking it down the left into Ugarte, who's being marshalled by Ramsey. Back in it goes to Casemiro, back to Ugarte, little Cruyff turn, even he's pulling out the tricks now, and he runs away from Ramsey and into an advanced position on the Manchester United left. He feeds it into Shaw. Shaw back to Casemiro, looks to try and feed the ball into the box, then checks after pressure from Bruno Guimaraes. Gets it back again. Plays it in field, and Mount waiting for it. Nudges it forward, flicked by Cunha into Dorgu. Back to Cunha again, down the right side, and he fires the ball towards the near post. It's narrowly wide. But again, Manchester United playing some champagne football.
Lovely to watch, isn't it? The little intricate play between them all. I have to say, Cunha, when he gets in that area, looks a real threat.
Very impressive the way they popped the ball off at will. Dorgu, Cunha got a little bit of luck because of the intervention from Sher, came back to Cunha, but he didn't have anything else in his mind rather than trying to shoot for target, and he almost got there. At the other end, Newcastle have a rare break forward. Miley has nudged the ball into the path of Jacob Murphy on the right side for Newcastle United. He comes in field, plays a reverse ball into Ramsey, tucks it back to Bruno Guimaraes. He approaches the edge of the area, back to Ramsey once again. He turns under pressure, feeds it to Miley. Now Bruno Guimaraes. Miley wants it back again, but Guimaraes is hemmed in by 3 red jerseys. Cunha goes across the press, pushed away into Ramsey's path, and Newcastle have been forced back to the halfway line. And Casemiro is across. It's out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, they need to get some possession of the ball, Newcastle, at the moment, and they've got to look at the intensity and play a lot quicker than they are at the moment.
Newcastle have been pretty poor, actually, giving the ball away far too cheaply and not really created enough. They had one brief opportunity from a set piece in the early part of the game. Senna Lomans coming to Manchester United's rescue, but apart from that, Manchester United have looked the likeliest to go on and extend their lead. And that's another slack pass from Ramsey in the middle of the park. He's given the ball away over on the far side. And Jacob Ramsey, who started the game against Chelsea at the weekend and is starting successive Premier League games for the first time in Newcastle colours, just a little bit sloppy with his ball out to the far side.
We haven't seen anything of the midfield 3 really of Newcastle at the moment, have we? There's so good footballers in there, but we haven't seen anything of them. They've been totally dominated by Manchester at the moment.
And we know how much of a problem that is for Newcastle United at the moment, without Joel Linton being able to participate as much as they would like. He's got a groin injury that has been niggling away at him for a little while now.
Yeah, because he's a big miss. I'll tell you, over the last 18 months, couple of years, he's been absolutely magnificent for Newcastle.
Here is Murphy sliding the ball forward up into the path of Voltemada, looking to twist and turn, and he's holding off Martinez and fighting for it, but couldn't keep it in. It goes out of play, and it's away for a throw-in over on the far side with 8 minutes to go before half-time, and Manchester United having that slender lead given to them by Patrick Dorgu.
You can see why he's a crowd favourite, can't you, Martinez? He is one little tough so-and-so against Voltemada, who's probably a foot bigger than him. He's tore into him there. He's aggressive in everything he does. His whole makeup of himself is all about aggression, even for just the size of him. Good to see him back.
I think he is actually a foot taller than Martinez.
He certainly looks it, that's for sure.
Ball is out towards the near touchline, chested down by Dallo. Up into Mount, little flick round the corner for Šeško, taken in by Šeško. Couldn't really hold it up, but the ball might break kindly here for Ugarte. It's tidied up by Miley instead, and he finds Ramsdale with a pass. He clears, no nonsense, straight down the middle of the pitch, taking no chances, doesn't want to invite pressure. I just saw Lisandro Martinez win a header against Voltemada. Now, I don't know if that's some sort of Christmas miracle, but I swear I just saw it, Steve.
I was looking as well to say, there you go. Doesn't matter how big he is.
Wow.
Timing of it, jumping of it, aggression, everything you would require in your centre-back.
Here is Mount in the middle of the park, Casemiro. Casemiro back to Dorgu. Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. Casemiro has it once again. Now to Martinez, far side. Then over the halfway line and Shaw, Ugarte back to Martinez again. Turns under pressure, goes down the line. The Argentine finds Shaw, gets it back again. They're looking to keep it in very tight, but maybe went a little bit too intricate. And they look to build again from the far side. Cross into the box is a deep one. Hall has kept it on the left edge of the area. Dorgu, though, fighting for it, wants it, and he's going to get it as well. Proper dogged defending from Patrick Dorgu. And Manchester United bring the ball away. Nick, a couple of passes together, edge of the area. Again, it's short, it's sharp, it's intricate. They're in charge here, and then Ugarte gives the ball away to Ramsey. and then very quickly Tonali can't find a return pass. It's another turnover of possession, and then Guimaraes robs Casemiro. Voltemada's got it on the edge of the D, wants a free kick, doesn't get it. Then Tonali turns it over because Šeško can't hold it up. It's a bit scrappy. The ball into the box is low. It goes right the way through the 6-yard area, beats Voltemada and Gordon, and goes out the other side.
Well, we've seen both teams give the ball away. In a matter of a minute's play, we must have seen both teams give the ball away 3 times each. Very, very fortunate to get away with it. Manchester, you have to say, thought that was in the back of the net. If Voltemada, could he have got across the front?
Was he went to hold it up, was pulled down by Heaven. Referee said play on. The ball went into Šeško. He couldn't hold it. It went wide to Murphy, whose crosses are always dangerous. They just couldn't get in front of Martinez, could he, to get towards that one. And Martinez sort of didn't want to touch it, just in case.
Very, very clever, Martinez. He just made sure that he didn't get anything on it, because if he had done it, might have been an own goal.
Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. On Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever it is, they're here for it. United have a throw-in in the right full-back position. And they lead, courtesy of that goal from Patrick Dorgu. Malik Thiaw guides it back towards his goalkeeper. And Šeško was encouraged to chase that. There was a little bit of hesitancy in that back pass from Malik Thiaw, didn't connect with it. Newcastle have been a little bit off it, I think, since Manchester United got themselves in front in the game. In fact, almost since they had that time out, really. Here is Bruno Guimaraes, down the left, looking for Hall. Dorgu goes across and produces a brilliant tackle. Well, I'll tell you what, Patrick Dorgu wrote to Santa and said, I could really do with an uplift in fortunes after Christmas Day, if that's okay. And Santa has definitely delivered.
And let me smash one in with my left foot. And wow, we've just seen, it's amazing, isn't it? And we'll talk about confidence and what it's like. Yeah, there we see it right in front of us for 35 minutes. As soon as he scored a goal, he's been absolutely terrific in everything he's done.
Yep, both defensively and offensively, he's worked incredibly well for Manchester United. He's just won a header in front of Lewis Hall. Flicked it on, Šeško looking to try and snaffle up the pieces down the right side, the inside right channel. Doesn't quite get on the end of it, and Thiaw sends it back to his goalkeeper Ramsdale 2.5 minutes before half-time. Newcastle struggle with defensive injuries. No Dan Burn, no Botman, no Livramento, no Trippier at this moment in time. Offensively, they haven't created enough today. And Matthias Cunha getting back to help out his defence has just funneled back into the left full-back position to make sure that Lewis Miley can't get a cross in. He's used his body really well. It's gone out of play. It's a goal kick, and Manchester United will most likely get through to half-time, leading by a goal to 0.
Yeah, and thoroughly deserved, you'd have to say, on the opening 45 minutes. It's been a really, really technical battle in the middle of the pitch in particular, and Newcastle have got to come to terms with it, that they've got like a little diamond in there with Casemiro and Mount off the front, and they haven't been able to deal with it so far, mainly because of being able to give the ball away as cheaply as they did.
Interesting when you look back at that goal from Dorgu, his effort. I mean, he hit it first time and he hit it well, but you just wonder whether or not from the corner, whether they should have been a little bit better stationed, Newcastle, and got out to him a little bit quicker.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed. I don't know whose job it was to be the edge of the box, because Voltemada got a great header in to start with.
Newcastle coming down the right-hand side. A minute to go before the regulation 45 are up. We probably think there's going to be another 2 to be added on the end of that. United having to defend here, though, as Newcastle come forward, looking to try and get back into this game before the break. Cher sees it through to the edge of the centre circle, then looks up, waits to pass the ball square onto Malik Thiaw. Thiaw forward into Tonali, who turns away from Casemiro and plays it back into the centre circle, where it's picked up by Cher again. We're heading towards half-time, and Newcastle just can't get out of their own half at the moment. Newcastle trying to come down the left now after Manchester United have just been a little bit quicker and sharper to every pass. Here's Voltemada trying to turn, looking to get away from Heaven. Across comes Casemiro to help out. Tonali is there, the ball bounces off of Dorgu, runs loose in midfield, still very scrappy in the middle of the pitch. Tonali's gone down, the referee has said play on because it's not a head injury, he's holding his knee. And Newcastle trying to come forward with Bruno Guimaraes. 2 minutes of added time. Still Tonali stays down. Now the referee is going to stop the game. We'll have a few more. Well, he is in some pain, I think, Tonali. I don't think he looks particularly comfortable.
He's uncomfortable with it. You can usually tell when somebody's got a nasty one by the looks of it.
Yep, he's still asking for attention. The ball was sort of running around in the middle of the park. Casemiro sort of played it forward, and Šeško and Tonali sort of came together. I wonder if Šeško landed on top of his foot. Yeah, I think he did, actually.
Yeah, it's a normal challenge, isn't it? There's nothing really malice in it at all. Don't even think it warrants a yellow card. Just one of them challenges what unfortunately happened. He's got a nasty whack on his ankle, and I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yep, just get a bit of treatment and then crack on before we get to the half-time whistle. Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. The goal coming from Patrick Dorgu. Haven't been too many chances in the game, Steve.
No, there hasn't been any real clear-cut chances, and you have to say Manchester, after playing a back four now, which they haven't done now in probably over a year, have looked very, very solid, haven't they? They've looked very, very decent defensively.
And they've only given up one shot on target. That came from a set piece earlier in the game. Apart from that, United have had 6 shots, 3 on target, an XG of 0.53 to Newcastle's 0.13. Hasn't been much of a threat from Newcastle so far. It's been Manchester United who have looked the most threatening of the two. Ball headed away by Shaw. And reacting to it first was Malik Chiao. He seemed to sort of hit it against his own hand, and that sort of sums up really where Newcastle have been so far today. They don't look entirely comfortable.
Yeah, they've huffed and puffed, haven't they? They haven't really been a threat. They haven't had that real athleticism that you see from them usually.
It's amazing the difference in them at St James's Park and what they're like away from home. Here is Guimaraes.
Yeah, it's become their Achilles heel, Sam, hasn't it?
Oh,
definitely away from home.
Here is Gordon. Back to Tonali. Tonali now nudging it down the left touchline into Hall. Back to Tonali once more. He travels laterally and then feeds it to Chiao, who turns under pressure, plays it out wide towards the right. He played out 47 and a bit minutes now of added time. But still they come forward, Newcastle, with Murphy down the right. Decent looking cross. Voltemada trying to get there. Dorgu gets there in front of Hall, and that sums up the first 45 minutes. And Patrick Dorgu has been at the heart of everything. Yeah,
great clearance from. What a wonderful pass, cross from Jacob Murphy, not for the first time. Another great cross from the kid.
Hall into Tonali as they come forward again. The referee still yet to blow the half-time whistle, and the Manchester United fans getting a little bit irate about that. The ball played wide towards the left. It's taken on by Tonali into the centre, away by Casemiro, further clear by Dalot. And surely now the referee is going to blow the half-time whistle. He does exactly that, and eventually the Manchester United supporters are satisfied that the 45 minutes is up and they go in with a slender league. Since the start of the 22-23 Premier League season, United have played just 7 top-flight games without their captain Bruno Fernandes. They failed to win any of them, but thanks to Patrick Dorgu, that might be about to change. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0.
Well, as will come as a surprise to absolutely nobody, Manchester United look a balanced football team with a back four. I mean, Mason Mount looks like prime Mason Mount, Chelsea's Mason Mount. Patrick Dorgu looks unbelievable. Brandon Boomer's at AFCON wondering why on earth he hasn't had the chance to play as a winger. The youngster Aiden Heaven in the middle of defence alongside Martinez, who's just come back from defence. They haven't been tested. Diogo Dalot looks competent. Luke Shaw looks fit. It's absolutely incredible. Senna Lomans hasn't had a save to make. That is a balanced Manchester United side who are essentially playing 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, and everyone looks comfortable. Someone call Ruben Amorim. Someone tell him why. Ask him
Wonderful
why.
Tactical thing. Well, probably it's got down to what he's got available and what can he get out of his team. And listen, Dalot's an experienced fullback who's played that position and played international level at it, a right back. So is Shaw's a left back, and of course you've got Martinez now with all his experience alongside the young kid Heaven. And then the back four have been remarkably solid. There's just my part of who's going to get out to that left-hand side, because Murphy has put 2-3 crosses into the box, and we know Cunha is a wonderful player going that way, going forward. His defensive stuff at times, he just has to just make sure he's alert with it.
Even Casemiro alongside Ugarte, they haven't won a game together, looked fairly comfortable protecting that back four. Casemiro hasn't had to run as far, Ugarte hasn't had to pass as expansively, and the big thing, Steve, is when Manchester United do lose the ball, there are bodies in the middle of the pitch who can close down plays, who can stop Newcastle from playing. I mean, you have to ask the manager why on earth, and maybe we will a little bit later on, he hasn't employed a back four sooner. It took Bruno Fernandes being injured, and finally, I mean, Bruno's watching tonight. Look at the amount of times that Mason Mount's had the ball, and he's thinking, why not me tonight? Why not me in a natural number 10 position where I do my best work? I mean, I'm complimenting Ruben Amorim here, because his side have certainly been the better in that first 45 minutes.
Well, what we've seen of Man United over the last few months in particular is a huge improvement in their confidence levels and people coming to the party. And what we're seeing now today is they've got themselves in front. Now, can they maintain it, and can they dominate from now on? Can they get the next goal? Because that's always usually crucial in the Premier League. But you have to say there's people in the right positions, in the right slot. The only one who probably isn't is Cunha. Cunha's playing towards the left-hand side. He's responsible for, Lewis Miley getting forward. That's my only concern of him at the moment. But certainly the situation's worked. They've got people in the middle of the pitch. Mount looks a very, very good player again, which is absolutely fantastic to see. You talk about confidence and how you get it. We need Sesko now to do something a little bit similar to what Dorgu's done. Dorgu's given himself, and by the way, since then he's been absolutely magnificent.
You mentioned the word confidence, Steve. Confidence is king. What a goal from Patrick Dorgu, the first in the United shirt for the young day, and he's been employed higher up the pitch, basically playing right wing. It's amazing what a goal can do for your confidence, and what a goal it was.
What a goal it was. I mean, Newcastle will be disappointed because Walter Mada's got a really decent header and it's gone to the 18-yard box. I thought they were going to run into him and Ugarte, and what a strike that is. I mean, with his left foot over his shoulder, smashes it into the net, and he'll probably never score a better goal for Man United than his first one.
That would be a pretty good bet at this stage. Eddie Howe looked very frustrated during that first 45 minutes. Newcastle have been losing the ball cheaply. They've been losing it in dangerous areas, allowing Manchester United to counter as well. Is that down to poor play from Newcastle, or what Manchester United have been doing well?
Well, it's a little bit of both, I have to say. I've not watched Newcastle away from home, and you watch them from afar, don't you, and seeing what's their problems from away from home. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Howe makes a big call here and makes 2-3 substitutions, because I would be really disappointed if I was him. We talk about intensity, what to play with, and when they really bang at it, and when they really, really bang at it, they look a very, very good side. Unfortunately, we've seen too often this lacklustre performance, which we're not often seeing it with Eddie's teams before. Unfortunately, it's crept in a little bit, and as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a couple of changes.
It was interesting. He didn't seem, and we've seen the only player, reading small cues out there, one player who's taken their tracksuit bottoms off out of the substitutes for Newcastle United. In fact, there are two of them. Looks like, is that Joe Willock and Joe Linton?
Joe Willock and Joe Linton look as if they've took the tracksuit bottoms off.
Exactly.
So I might be right there, and I'm not surprised, because in the middle of the pitch in particular, they've looked a little bit lethargic.
They haven't had a shot since the 17th minute. Obviously, they had those dangerous crosses flashed in by Murphy. They haven't really pressed with any intensity, and it seems to be a common theme away from home. Howe's been very annoyed, and maybe that's why we're seeing Joe Linton and Willock. Second balls. Ramsdale's kicking it out, Voltemada's going up for them, and no Newcastle player is getting in and around it to try and pick up those second balls.
They haven't got that right, and probably they've been setting up all week to play against Man United's back three, and obviously it's a back four, and they look a little bit, well, who's doing what? Certainly we haven't seen any real intensity, and they've shot themselves in the foot a few times by giving the ball away cheaply.
We know Howe's a great manager. Listen, you've been there thousands of games. How different is it to coach your side going away from home And they haven't won one win, is it, away from home all season? But how can it be so drastically different?
Well, it must be a big frustration, especially when you see the way they play, particularly at home. You know, where the Newcastle faithful is there to give them all the support they need. And at the moment, now they haven't really done themselves justice away from home. And certainly on today's performance as well, they've been disappointing. They'll be disappointed of what they've turned out in the first half. And as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a change at half-time to give them a bit of life.
OK, that's the former Newcastle United boss, Steve Bruce. We'll let him get a half-time cup of tea and a slice of cake. I think Christmas cake's still on the menu here at Old Trafford. First, though, let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
So it's currently Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes. Right now, you can get Manchester United at 20-11 on to win the game. The draw is 27-10. Newcastle 5-1 to come from behind and win here at Old Trafford. Doesn't happen very often. In the next goal scorer market, Cunha 13-2, Dorgu is 12-1, and Voltemada 9-2. And a special for either team to win this match 2-1. That was 10-3. It's now 4-1. Those are latest odds from Ladbrokes. They're 18 plus, and make sure you check out gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Now, earlier in our exclusive championship action over on Talksport 2, there was an incredible game. Wrexham coming from 3-1 down to beat Sheffield United 5-3. The Red Dragons boss, Phil Parkinson, spoke afterwards about his team's mentality.
Character comes in many ways, and bravery to keep playing when you're getting beat, and I think the lads showed that really well tonight. Shifo and Matty James in midfield kept showing for the ball, never hid away from. They're not that type of players. Kept showing for, kept linking the game for us, and there was lots of really strong performances.
Elsewhere in the Championship today, Frank Lampard's commentary beat Swansea by 1-0. That, coupled with Middlesbrough's draw with Blackburn, means the Sky Blues are now 8 points clear at the top. Meanwhile, defeat once again for Leicester at the King Power, beaten 2-1 by Watford. West Brom 1, Bristol City 2. Huge win for Oxford United, beating Southampton at 2-1. Big win for Norwich as well towards the bottom. 1-0 winners over Charlton. It was goalless between Millwall and Ipswich. Level between Sheffield Wednesday and Hull. 0-0 draw between Stoke and Preston. And it finished 1-1 between both Portsmouth and QPR and Birmingham and Derby County. Don't forget, tomorrow, 7 Premier League games taking place. We'll bring you the first of them live and exclusive here on Talksport as Nottingham Forest host Manchester City at 12:30. Then at 2:30, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Troy Deeney and Dean Ashton. All the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the Scottish Premiership. Arsenal take on Brighton tomorrow. Liverpool face Wolves. Burnley playing Everton. Plus our full classified results service from 5:15. But here at Old Trafford, a very happy home crowd. Manchester United lead Newcastle by 1-0. They've looked very good for their lead as well. But will they keep it up in the second half? That's coming up for you next.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is learning the ropes.
So, Mo, with Click and Collect, we get orders ready fast. So customers are out of here and back to their jobs in as little as 1 minute. What are you doing?
Dip lunches. It's my warm-up. I need to be in peak condition for when orders come in.
Love that intensity, Mo. Laser focused. You might even have what it takes to beat my PB one day.
Back in the Mo.
Click and collect in as little as 1 minute. Screwfix. No stopping you.
Same.
Ho, ho, ho.
Same.
3, 2, 1.
Same.
Oh, thanks.
Same.
What does Santa call his dog?
Same. Same.
One word. Free syllables.
Same. Same.
Sorry, it's a bit dry.
New plates.
Ooh.
Treat your table to something different this Christmas. Visit your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win.
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real life football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The buffet of sport is open this Boxing Day weekend at Betfair. From football and the NFL to the King George Chase and the World Darts Championship, it's a feast of festive fixtures. And with money back as a free bet if you're multi-losers across any sport, the action just got sweeter. Fancy a bite? Betfair.
Opt in and place a £2 to £50 multi-bet. Minimum 3 legs at 1.5 odds placed after 9 a.m. on the 22nd of December 2025. T's and C's apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
The beautiful game doesn't stop at the final whistle, and neither does the sun.co.uk. So you can go beyond the last kick with expert insight into the big moments and in-depth analysis of tactics, plus the latest breaking news and exclusives. And you can get it whenever and wherever you want it. To keep up with every kick, just head to thesun.co.uk. It's unbeatable.
Don't miss any of the Tungsten Tips top flight action as the biggest names in darts jockey at the hockey for world domination. The PDC World Darts Championship on Talksport and Talksport 2. With Village Hotels. Get live commentary throughout the entire tournament on Talksport 2. Plus full, unrivaled coverage of the final from Ali Pally on Talksport. The PDC World Darts Championship live on Talksport and Talksport 2. With Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out, play.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
Kick off live on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream over 50 live Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Manchester United versus Newcastle live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Ignition Football. Game day exclusive on Talksport.
Flicked away by Voltemada. Drops for Dorgu, who parries it. Oh, brilliantly. On the volley.
What a goal.
Past the goalkeeper and into the net. And Patrick Dorgu has hit a rasper, a Christmas cracker out of the sky, and past Ramsdale in a flash. It's his first goal for Manchester United.
Well, it's already been a thoroughly entertaining evening here at Old Trafford. Live and exclusive Premier League action on TalkSport. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0. And that little pause, that little breath that I took is we mentioned there would be changes for the second half, and there will be a change. One of the young Fletcher twins, Tyler, coming on at the break for Mason Mount, who had a brilliant opening first 45 minutes. So I wonder how that will impact Ruben Amorim's side. Both sets of players out there, fans pouring back into their seats. The second half with you on TalkSport as we await the whistle from Anthony Taylor. Steve Bruce, the former Newcastle United boss,
is here somewhere.
Is here somewhere. Yeah, he's on his way up the stairs. And Sam Matterface.
And it's Jack Fletcher who's come on in place of Mason Mount, wearing the number 38. Got 17 minutes against Aston Villa, and he will play in an advanced midfield position. So we already thought it was a proud day for Darren Fletcher, the Manchester United former midfield player, and now on the staff, one of the sporting ambassadors and directors here at the football club. But seeing his lad play the second half of this Boxing Day game will have been something that maybe he wasn't quite anticipating. And Manchester United making that change at the break. Mason Mount for Jack Fletcher on through the 11 for you in just a second, but the ball is out on this near touch now with Newcastle United, who haven't made a change yet. A little flick by Voltemada into Ramsey, edge of the area, cuts in on his right foot, stumbles, falls over, didn't get the shot away, much to the glee of the Manchester United supporters. And then Voltemada trying to hold it up after a mistake on the edge of the area by Ugarte, away by Shaw. But early pressure in this second half for Newcastle United, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, it looks as if Ramsey was just going to pull the trigger, and unfortunately he stumbled on himself really and fell over into the penalty area. But I can only say, reiterate what you just said about the Fletcher family. They must be extremely proud that the son's come onto the pitch today.
Well, the ball is out of play on this near touchline. In fact, it almost reached us up here in the south stand. Goes out for a throw-in. And Eddie Howe will be encouraging his team from the touchline there as they look to try and build from the back. Fletcher puts pressure on Tonali. It goes back to Cher at the heart of midfield. It goes out towards the right-hand side. Malik Chow comes across. The challenge goes in. Bounces off and away for a Newcastle United throw. Miley to take the throw-in on this near side. Into Tonali it goes. And then he plays a risky ball, Miley, actually, back towards the edge of the area. And it beats Šeško and goes all the way through to Cher. Cher will carry it out from the back. And we were talking to a few of the Newcastle press pack at half-time, weren't we, about the tendency away from home to cause their own problems, really, be the masters of their own downfall by giving the ball away. And that pattern certainly repeated itself in the first half. As Miley comes forward down the right-hand side, he was being tugged back by Cunha. He's won a free kick in the right wing position.
I think it's the first one, isn't it? The first challenge. I don't think it's Luke Shaw's challenge. That's Cunha's challenge. A bit awkward, wasn't it? Yeah, it's the same thing when you talk to the people of Newcastle. It's that lack of intensity. Or certainly be away from home, and the ability for giving the ball away so cheaply is unfortunately what they've done.
Has generated a free kick though. That run from Miley down the right hand side for the challenge by Cunha. It's a yard in from the right touchline. Bruno Guimaraes is back across, getting some water and getting a little bit of a change of boot, is he? And the players continuing, and Murphy now levels the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's away by Šeško, picked up by Ugarte, who's running into a bit of a cul-de-sac and needs a bit of help here. Goes back to the left fullback Martinez, and then taken on by Casemiro, who clears up to Šeško. Chests it down, takes it down, runs into traffic, gives the ball away. Another turnover of possession. Ramsey almost gave it to Casemiro, but now Miley's got it for Newcastle. They're coming back down the right here. Untidy start to the second half. We played nearly 4 minutes. It's Manchester United leading by a 1-0 against Newcastle United. Miley onto Murphy. Murphy with a chance to cross. Blocked by Shaw, goes out for a corner on this near side.
The threat of Murphy down this side is going to be the one that's going to be interesting, because as we've said in the first half, Cunha's unnatural really to play on this left-hand side, and they're asking more and more questions down this right-hand side for Newcastle.
Lommans is the Manchester United goalkeeper, had to make his one save in the match so far from a corner, and he's got to defend in front of the scoreboard end away to our right here as Hall sends it in towards the near post, headed away by Dallo. Back in it goes via Murphy towards the edge of the area, but Casemiro gets it further clear. Malik Chow helps it over the top of the defence, and Gordon now going down the left-hand side, plays against the chest of Martinez, and there's some sustained Newcastle pressure at the start of this second half. It's another corner, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, much better from Newcastle. That intensity which lacked in the first half is certainly, we've seen 4 or 5 minutes where they've been camped out at their own Man United's half. So a good start from Newcastle in the second half.
Hevan Martinez and Shaw alongside Dallo making up a back four today for Manchester United. Ugarte, Casemiro, the deeper line midfield players. Dorgu on the right, Cunha on the left, and Fletcher behind Šeško. Ball in towards the near post, flicked away by Dorgu, comes back to Cher, who shoots, takes a deflection, and it goes behind and away for a corner, and it just about evaded the goal away to our right hand side. Fabian Cher back post, chesting it down. It hit Patrick Dorgu's foot. It could have gone anywhere, but such is good fortune today. It flew the right side of the post from a Manchester United perspective. Another corner for Newcastle. Hall delivers it towards the far post, headed away by Dorgu again. Chested down by Fletcher. Fletcher takes it to the far touchline. There might have been an infringement on Dorgu as he headed the ball, and the free kick has been given edge of the 6-yard box. But he's been involved in the thick of the action.
He has. That's from to get up at the far post, just shows you what he is at the moment. And he's lucky enough to get away with that. Could have gone anywhere from Shah, who took it down his chest, hit it with his left foot, and I think it hit Dorgu's ankle and whistled by the post.
Well, let's just have a quick look to see what the infringement was there. Well, it's just a small hand in his face, I think. Nothing more than that. Ramsdale is the Newcastle goalkeeper. The back four today, Miley, Chow, Cher and Hall. Bruno, Tonali and Ramsey in midfield with Murphy, Voltemada and Gordon going forward. They didn't actually give a foul for that in the end. It just allowed it to go out of play, and it's come back in towards the far post, and Cher is up there at the back post after a swirling cross from Tonali. It's glanced behind and it's away for another corner.
Yeah, good defensive header from Shaw. It was a great from Shaw. It was a great ball in. Testing time for Manchester United now. Can they make sure they defend these corners, set pieces against them?
I think this is corner number 8, maybe even corner number 9, and most of them at the start of the second half, where they've piled on the pressure on the United goal. Murphy towards the penalty spot, sends the ball aimed in that area, but it's headed away by Casemiro, and then Jack Fletcher looks to run away with it but can't get it into Dorgu's path. It's collected by Cher and then sent out to the left. It's a bit short for Ramsey from Gordon and tidied up by Casemiro inside his own area, who clip it into midfield, but Tonali gets there first. Dorgu puts him under pressure. There was a little bit of a arming off there, a handing off by Tonali, and that's generated a free kick in Dorgu's favour over on the far side. This is Talksport, and it's Manchester United who lead by 1-0 with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Manchester United versus Newcastle live right now. Search Now Sports. Away by Lomans. And Sesko was never getting anywhere near that. The long ball went up to him, and it almost looks as if he's going to go in his zone, but he didn't quite get there, Steve.
Yeah, it's been a tough start from them the first 8 minutes of the second half here, Manchester. They need some sort of possession of the ball.
Newcastle have won 4 of the last 5 Premier League meetings against Manchester United. And history warns us against a Newcastle win at the Theatre of Dreams. It doesn't happen too often. They did get 3 points here last April, but haven't won successive league games at Old Trafford since 1935. And they're behind here by a 1-0. Goal scored by Patrick Dorgu in the first half of the game. 25 minutes in when he leathered one beyond the goalkeeper, Senna Lomans. Miley out on the near side into Murphy. Murphy now coming infield. It's the travel centrally, hands it off to Tonali, goes back to Chow, and then picked up by Cher. Cher wide towards the Manchester United right, the Newcastle left, and it's with Gordon, who chops on his right foot, delivers a cross which is too close to Senna Lomans. Collected well by the commanding goalkeeper in his bright green goalkeeping outfit today, and cleared away for United. Manchester United, that is. Threw it into Heaven's path, and he then got it back and then smacked it up towards the halfway line. Miley gives it to Tonali. It was a little bit tricky for him to deal with, and he fed it back to a backpedaling Chow, who had to very quickly get it to Aaron Ramsdale. Sesko flung himself at that rather unnecessarily, I thought, Steve.
Yeah, I think it was one for the cameras. I think that one, he had no chance of getting it. I don't know what the dive was for at the end, and I'm not so sure.
Well, he went sort of almost to sort of threw his body at it to block the clearance, but by the time that he left the ground, the clearance was already at Lewis Miley.
You're not wrong.
Here is Ugarte into Fletcher, trying to reverse that to the right side. It's cut out by Hall. It's all Newcastle United at the start of the second half. The momentum with the visitors, whose intensity and care of the ball has improved during the half-time break.
Oh, no end. They've caused all sorts of problems in the first 10 minutes of this half. Don't think Man United have had a kick of the ball yet.
No, we were expecting goals and entertainment with these two. No clean sheet in 10 Premier League games for Manchester United. Newcastle concede as many as they score. Although before today, 7 of their goals, just 7 of them have come away from home. And that has been a real issue for them. Frustrations with Voltemada, frustrations with some of Gordon's performances on the road. And as of yet, there's been not too much to dissuade those distractors from what happens as soon as they leave the area surrounded by the Tyne. But they have had a better start to the second half here at Old Trafford.
They've certainly had a better start, Sam, haven't they? That's for sure.
Here is Lomans with the goal kick. Manchester United shooting towards the Stretford end in the second half, although they barely had a glimpse of the Stretford end up until this point. Ball headed back straight away by Tonali. Heaven under pressure from Voltemada, deals with that rather casually and is composed as he picks out Dorgu. He has his pocket picked by Lewis Hall, and Newcastle win it again on the halfway line with the athletic Jacob Ramsey. Turns it back into Cher, then onto Tonali. Hall miscontrols. That allows it to run through to Dalot, and then Casemiro sets Manchester United on the attack. Šeško trying to turn. All routes forward are blocked, so he goes backwards instead. And Manchester United can't get out of their own half here, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, it's tough for them at the moment. They can't get any control of the ball or the game. All Newcastle at the moment, they need to get a foothold on the game and have some sort of possession.
Just keeping a little bit more care of the ball when they get it is going to be important for them here, because they're just inviting more pressure from the away side, who have control again on the halfway line. 57 gone. Out it goes towards Hall and then nudged into Tonali. Back to Cher and then into Bruno Guimaraes. Round the corner it goes to Malik Chow once again, who lifts it over the top for Miley to chase. Sandro Martinez reads it and manages to clear it into the midpoint of the Manchester United half. Again, lots of patient build-up from Newcastle, forcing Manchester United back towards their own goal. They trail by a goal to nil here. Bruno Guimaraes. Back infield it goes to Cher, then on to Hall, back wide now onto Gordon. Gordon looks to take on Dalot. He's tight to the touchline, far side in front of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. Goes on the outside, produced across into the centre. It's behind Voltemada and Bruno Guimaraes. Cleared away by Ugarte, and then tied up on halfway by Fabian Cher. Joshua Zirkzee getting rather animated instructions from Ruben Amorim down in front of us. I wonder if he's going to come on for Benjamin Šeško.
I wouldn't be surprised if you'd give them a little bit more up the top end of the pitch.
Here is Miley again, looking to try and come infield. Feeds it into Bruno Guimaraes. Yeah, they're just not holding the ball up at the moment. Šeško's not offering much at all as Cher comes forward, tries to bound his way through. He's now out of his slot as Manchester United look to turn and get forward. Šeško holds it up this time and feeds it wide for Dorgu, who wants to test himself for pace against Lewis Hall. The two go together. It's a bit of a coming together between the two. They go down, and the referee waves play on and says, oh, the ball's been turned over by Ugarte, and it's gone through the Šeško edge of the area. He needs to get it onto his left foot, and driving goal as he hits the top of the crossbar, and it goes out and away for a goal kick. He took his time over his effort there, as the ball just rebounded kindly after Manchester United benefited from a turnover. Šeško went running down the left-hand side. They were back-paddling the Newcastle defence. He eventually hit it left-footed. I think he wanted to try and get it onto his right, but eventually he struck it, and he struck it against the bar.
And it's going to be his last touch as well. They've taken him off. He just looked a little bit unbalanced and rushed it just at the end. A really, really wonderful opportunity, and we really needed for his sake that to hit the crossbar and go in. But unfortunately, I think he was just off balance a little bit, sort of rushed it. What a wonderful opportunity for him.
Well, they're trying to make another change, and I don't know if they've communicated it properly, but Lenny Yoro is coming on. Casemiro is supposed to be coming off. I'm not entirely sure that that's what Ruben Amorim initially was planning. Certainly Casemiro can't believe that that's the case. It is. Casemiro being told, yes, you're coming off, fella. And they're going to move the pieces of the chessboard around again. And it looks like Dorgu now is going to left wing back. Yoro's coming in to make up the back three. And they will revert to that familiar back three, will they? Or is Dorgu going to play? Is Yoro going to play as a right back? And Dorgu plays a left winger now. Interesting. We'll see what happens.
Dalot, where's he going? Dalot.
Well, they've got 6 defenders on now, Steve. So let's just say that some of them are going to be repurposed. Ball sent forward in towards the edge of the area. Fletcher almost passes it straight to Voltemada, who heads the ball down, but Lommans will pick it up and clear it away. Yes, 6 defenders on the pitch now for Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, it's a big call after an hour, isn't it? I mean, look, they've had a poor start to the second half, but a drastic change and taking off the experience of Casemiro in the middle of the pitch.
Here is Hall coming forward, left edge of the area, strikes it, hits the underside of the crossbar, it comes back out. Lewis Hall for Newcastle almost with a spectacular equaliser. Back it goes to Murphy. His cross is deep towards the far post, headed away back to Hall again, who strikes it. It hits the back of Dallow and goes out over on the far side. Well, he can't quite believe it. He scored a corker here in the Carabao Cup a couple of years ago, and he almost scored a carbon copy.
What a passage of play for the lad. Twice he's had 2 shots in the space of 30 seconds. He must enjoy it coming to Old Trafford, this lad.
Well, again, Xerxes was the one who didn't really put any pressure on Malik Tiao, which led to the ball coming straight back towards Lewis Hall, edge of the area, ended up cracking it, hit the bar. Corner is flicked away, comes to the far post. Cher with a strike, it hits a hand, does it? Falls for Chow. There was a possibility of a collision on the edge of the 6-yard box. Martinez has hurt himself, and then there's 2 down inside the D. One of those is Lewis Hall. A free kick has been given, the game has been stopped, but it's absolute carnage on the edge of the area.
There's all sorts going on in there, and I think Martinez has come off worse by the look of it. All sorts of challenges going in there.
Well, Martinez went to kick through the ball and I think collided with Voltemada. Then there was an engagement on the edge of the area involving Lewis Hall, who was dragged down. He's won the free kick. The corner was a real mess. It was flicked away by Dallow. It came towards the far post. Now, it did come off the body of Martinez and onto the arm, but because it deflects off the inside of his upper body, I don't think that's going to be given as a penalty even after VAR review. I'd be surprised, even though his arm was away from his body. What do you think?
Well, we've seen them given. Does that give you away just because it comes off his chest first before it hits his body, before it hits his arm? Certainly his arm's in a difficult situation.
VAR are looking at it. Well, it does come off the inside, the side of his body and onto his outstretched arm. Now, because his outstretched arm is in an unnatural position, that doesn't negate the deflection, but the deflection is mitigating circumstances.
Is that arm in an unnatural position? We've seen them given, haven't we?
It's away from his body, but he's holding onto the shirt of a defender, isn't he? He's almost engaged in a tussle at the time, so he's not making himself unnaturally bigger, I don't think. But I think the decision rightly is no penalty. No penalty.
No penalty.
And Bruno Guimaraes just waiting for the information from Anthony Taylor, who is explaining why that is the case. Now, are they going to give the free kick on the edge of the penalty area that they initially had awarded, or are they going to go back and give an uncontested drop ball halfway through the Manchester United half? That restart seems a little bit strange, whether or not they were dealing with a head injury. Maybe that was the case, but either way, no penalty for Newcastle United, who have hit the bar in the start of this second half, in which they've been much better, Steve Bruce. And
Newcastle have totally dominated it. It's been a switch from Manchester United. You know, they've gone back to, is it now a back 5, is it? Or it looks like even a back 6. Took the experienced Casemiro off.
Here is Gordon down the outside of the youngster Lenny Yoro. He pulls it back for Voltemada, and Xerxes manages to come back and win it, and now they're looking to find an escape route through Cunha, and then Dorgu on this left hand side, who does have the pace to get forward, but Sherry's going to get there first. He did brilliantly again to get across and try and block that ball as it went out on this near side. He's full of running tonight, Patrick Dorgu, dragging his team up the pitch. Let's just try and work out this formation now. It looks like it's a back 4, but with Dallow and Dorgu also additions in front of Lenny Yoro and Luke Shaw, it can flex into a back 6, and you're inviting a bit of pressure if you're in that sort of frame of mind. The midfield is Ugarte and Jack Fletcher, with Cunha and Xerxes up front. Ball into the box, headed away by Lisandro Martinez. Back out to the right, and Lewis Miley. Joel Linton and Visser about to come on for Newcastle United. They're going to make changes here. Murphy's cross blocked by Dorgu in the left full-back position. I mean, the other problem is that they don't really have that many other options, Manchester United, so he almost, if he felt as if it needed a change, he had to bring defenders on because he didn't have anyone else.
Yeah, I suppose so. I still can't get my head around the Casemiro one. You know, with one of your most experienced players in the middle of the pitch. They need all the experience they can get at the moment, especially when they're struggling in the second half.
Tonali with the ball into the box, headed away Cunha can't hold it up and it goes back. Well, clearly that's the other thing, isn't it? You know,
it looks as if now Dallow's playing in a wide right position and Yoro to right back.
Yeah, Shaw at left back and Dorgu as the left winger. Almost 4-4-2. Here is Murphy coming in field, trying to travel centrally. We did talk about this on 10 to 1 earlier in the week, about them planning to change to a back four, Manchester United. Here is Guimaraes coming down the right-hand side, looking for Miley, onto Murphy, feeds it into Gordon, who tries to tease it towards the far corner. It's a yard wide. Was very tight on the edge of the area. They picked their way through. Gordon went through on the edge of the 6-yard box, and instead of finding the far corner, he just missed the far post. That was a big chance for his first open play goal in the Premier League since January.
Yeah, wonderful opportunity. Good play from Newcastle. You'd have to say, patient in the build-up, waited for the opportunity. Great ball by Murphy by the looks of it. They've just missed the opportunity. Now all of a sudden, more firepower now coming on.
Well, Visser is on
for Newcastle
to replace Voltemada. Ramsey has gone off and Joel Linton has come on. And on this right-hand side, Harvey Barnes has replaced Murphy. So a triple change and a triple threat for Newcastle United, who have started this second half really well on Boxing Day. Manchester United, who have changed their formation tonight and changed their personnel in this second half. They've now got Lenny Yoro, Aidan Heaven, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Diogo Dalot, Patrick Dorgu and Manuel Ugarte, all nominally defensive players on the pitch. Xerxes and Cunha are the furthest forward, and young Jack Fletcher is in charge of bridging the gap.
Yeah, big call for the young lad, isn't it? Big call, but you have to say well done to Newcastle in the second half in particular. They've put Man United under all sorts of pressure. So much so they've changed their formation, where they looked so rock solid in the first half. All of a sudden they've become a little bit edgy. They need a little bit of possession of the ball.
Yeah, that's been the problem in the second half. They haven't really been able to keep it at all. And Luke Shaw's been given a yellow card for taking too long over a throw-in. I don't think it's a good idea to start running the clock down now. We've only played 68 minutes. Lisandro Martinez back to Aidan Heaven, turns under pressure, then runs away from Visa, up into Xerxes. Xerxes doesn't hold on to it, gives it away too cheaply, then it goes square into Hall, and now Manchester United pinch it through Lenny Yoro before Gordon get hold of it. Ugarte forward, onto Cunha, just over the halfway line. Hall trying to track him, and then there's a foul by Joel Linton. It's going to be a free kick over by the touchline, and that was cute from Cunha. He knew what was coming from Joel Linton from behind and drew the foul. Jumped into the air, there was barely any touch.
Yeah, he's tried to play for it a little bit. I think that was Joel Linton having a little rap with his mate, I don't think so.
Yes, there wasn't much contact there, I don't think. Let's have a look. Yeah. United on the attack once again. Manchester United on the attack again with Dorgu, leading by a goal to nil. And it's been Operation Containment, I think, ever since the break from Manchester United. And Newcastle United trying to find a way back into this game. But Dorgu is going down the left. Xerxes waiting in the centre. Dalot at the far post. Comes through to Xerxes. Oh, he misjudged it because Chow misjudged it. And it just called him out. He wasn't ready to react, and the ball ran loose inside the penalty area, and Newcastle were able to clear. What a chance.
What an opportunity. What an opportunity for them. It just, again, Dorgu's rampage down the left-hand side and put a great cross in. Chow, was it, miskicked it? Did he miskick it and took it away from the path of the oncoming player? I think it was Cunha.
Cunha was at the far post. Xerxes was a little bit closer to it, but Xerxes didn't really anticipate what could happen there. And it didn't quite come through to him. And he hasn't really pulled up many trees, Joshua Xerxes, since joining Manchester United. The only goal was against Crystal Palace this season. 4 goals in 42 Premier League appearances. 25 of those appearances have been off the bench. But 2 goals came in 1 game against Everton last December. It hasn't been the most fruitful of periods. Fletcher with a foul on Bruno Guimaraes. Free kick given against Manchester United. Tonali has it centre field. looks to play it out to the right. Collected now by Bruno Guimaraes again. Remember, Lewis Hall has hit the crossbar. Gordon's flashed one wide. Goalkeepers had to make a good save in the first half of Bruno Guimaraes. They've had chances, Newcastle, even if they haven't been at their best. Gordon into the centre from the cross from the left, headed away by Heaven. Chow up there to put pressure on. Hall protects the ball, plays it towards Miley, who's 10 yards outside the box, right-hand side, delivers across into the area. Visa heads it down. Joel Linton keeps it alive, gets the shot away, blocked by Heaven. Scrambled away by Manchester United, by Dallow eventually towards the halfway line, but the pressure is intense. And Newcastle come again. Wave after wave of black and white attack, heading towards the scoreboard end in this second half. Barnes trying to feed the ball down the right touchline. He wins it back after it was well defended. Now Ugarte pinches it, and Manchester United look to go on the escape. Tonali comes across, shoulder barge, yellow card. Interesting. Eddie Howe furious. I'll tell you why he's furious. Because a shoulder barge of that nature, if not more intent, last week in the game against Chelsea didn't generate even so much of a flicker from the referee, and he wanted a penalty on that occasion. Yeah. And if you compare the two incidents, there wasn't much difference.
No difference at all, wasn't it? And that's the frustration, isn't it? I think Tonali knew what he was doing. He was getting his body across him, but not so sure it's a yellow card.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was a yellow card, and I'm not sure that Eddie Howe thought that either, as the ball drops down kindly, and it's Dallow who sends it over the top of the crossbar from inside the 6-yard box. Quickly taken free kick from Lisandro Martinez in towards the penalty area, chested down by Dallow, and somehow he's fired over the top. Well, he's not the world's greatest goal scorer, but it was brilliant movement, a brilliant chest trap, and he will be disappointed he didn't find the finish.
I'm sure Fab Shaw, looking back at that, will be saying what sort of position I got myself into. He sort of lets it go, really. Dallow's got in behind him on his weaker side, his left foot, and unfortunately for him, he's put it over the bar.
What a chance for Manchester United to go 2-0 in front. And chances in the second half for Manchester United have been few and far between. Here comes Bruno Guimaraes. Forward to the left, on to Gordon, a reverse ball into Hall. Hall into the penalty area, low ball through the 6-yard box. Lomans has taken charge and smothered it. And Manchester United survive once more. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. The latest odds are available at Ladbrokes. Right now you can get Manchester United to win the game at 5-2 on. Newcastle are 17-2 to come back and win the game. The draw is 27-10. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org. Wissa wins it in midfield, plays it wide to the left. It's taken on by Gordon, who's got the beating of Yoro, sends it into the centre. It's a bit behind Wissa, who tried to volley it, couldn't quite get hold of it, and Manchester United get it clear. Cunha leading the charge out. Joel Linton scrapping with him, tries to win it. The ball is released to Shaw. Shaw up to the halfway line. He goes running through the centre circle. He plays it further on to the left where Dorgu is waiting. It's a bit behind him. Eventually it's collected in the left wing position by Patrick Dorgu, and he just waits for reinforcements to arrive and get up with him on the edge of the penalty area. It's a bit of a chaotic, frenetic game now, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's end-to-end now all of a sudden, and this is what Man U are hoping for, that they can just catch Newcastle on the counter-attack, and with the pace of Dorgu in particular, they've got the legs to do that.
Very good first half from Manchester United. Second half has been completely different.
Completely different. You have to say well done to Newcastle. Their approach and the way they've gone about is totally different.
Both these teams really want to put runs of results on the board. Newcastle started the weekend's matches in a disappointing run of 11th. But a good win tonight could take them above Manchester United. There's still time that they could turn this one around, bearing in mind that there's 15 minutes to go. Lenny Yoro stumbles as the ball goes back to him under pressure from Gordon. Loman's clearance wasn't the greatest, but Xerxes has held this one up. It comes back to Ugarte. That's blocked by Guimaraes. Forward by Heaven. Again, Xerxes brings the ball down. He then gives it straight to Harvey Barnes. Chow forward into Wissa. He then gives it away to Ugarte. Now Dorgu's got it again on the halfway line. And it has been a fully scrappy affair, I think, for a large part. Lots of turnovers of possession.
Yeah, it's gone really, really scrappy and fascinating tussle it's going to be the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's a real proper bruising encounter though. Miley wrestling with Cunha down in the left wing position as Manchester United look at it. The Uruguayan Ugarte throws himself in front of Barnes. It goes out for a throw-in. And on comes Joe Willock, who was a brilliant servant for you when he was at Newcastle.
Oh, he did fantastic for me. He was at Newcastle. We took him on loan from Arsenal, and he practically kept us up single-handedly, really. He scored 7 or 8 goals in his 15 appearances when I was there. Had a wonderful start to his career at Newcastle. And unfortunately, since then, he's had a few injuries and hasn't really produced what we all thought he would do.
Well, I looked at the stats earlier. He got 8 goals in those 15 games, 7 of them in 7 matches, the last 7 matches of the league season.
Yeah, wonderful for a loan signing from Arsenal. He did fantastically well.
Here's Bruno Guimaraes driving into the Manchester United penalty area. No one reacted, and then Cunha had to and pushed it out and away for a corner over on the far side. And another chance to create from a set piece for Newcastle United, who trail here by a goal to nil with 13 minutes to go.
It's been hard work for Man U in the second half. It's been one-way traffic, really, apart from the Dalot situation where he found himself free in the middle of the box. And you fear for Man U because this is a bit of their weakness. I know they're good the other way, but defensively from set pieces, been a struggle.
Well, the first one certainly caused them an issue, and here is one from the right side. Miley in towards the near post, missed by Lomans, smuggled towards goal, cleared off the line by Dorgu. Well, there might have been a foul in there anyway, and it might have been against Senna Lomans, but certainly as he came for that, Anthony Gordon was close to him and seemed to be edging him out of the picture, and that's what the referee's blown the whistle for.
Yeah, it looked as if the goalkeeper was cleaning windows then a little bit, didn't it? I have to say, he was flapping a little bit. Yes, I think decision's gone for him a little bit, and of course Dorgu gets it off the line. Of course he did.
I must say, I think you might be right there with your assessment that he was a little bit fortunate.
He was very fortunate. Very fortunate.
Yeah, because he did come out clutching at straws. Ball cleared away by Martinez. Manchester United, who quite happy to sit back and defend. Manchester United have had just 1 cross into the box in the second half and 2 shots. They've had 30% possession in the second half compared to the 70% that Newcastle have had. And Newcastle have had 8 shots. 19 crosses have gone into the Manchester United box in this second half alone. Here's another one of those, a low one this time, driven in by Bruno Guimaraes, away by Aidan Heaven. Xerxes trying to keep hold of it, but Miley takes over when he was under pressure from Chow.
I ain't sure Manchester United can hang on, I have to say. All of a sudden Anthony Gordon looks a threat, doesn't he, whenever he's in possession.
Well, he's running down that left-hand side again. He's got him behind Dalot into the box, chopped back onto his right foot, pulled it back to the edge of the area. Joel Linton with the shot, no power behind it, he's straight at Senna Lomans. Good move. And Anthony Gordon again down that left-hand side is just getting a little bit too much joy, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, just as we said that, he's burst through again, hasn't he? And for me, I'd think I'd have Dalot picking him up rather than Yoro. He's a more natural defender, Dalot, that position. Maybe now gone back to a back 5. Who knows what they're trying to do? Maybe a back 6.
Well, I mean, Manchester United have flexed and changed so much over the course of this game, but it is just worth pointing out once again they have 6 out-and-out defenders and a defensive midfield player on the pitch at the moment. Here is Bruno Guimaraes on to Hall. Hall out towards the far side. Anthony Gordon takes over. Now it's on to Hall again, who looks to get the cross in. It hits the back of Lenny Yoro, headed further clear by Heaven, missed by Dalot, and Newcastle will get it back again, and they keep the pressure on. They almost deserve an equaliser, Newcastle United. They put so much pressure on this Manchester United back line. Willock into the box, looking for Wissa, heads it back, comes to Gordon. He feeds it down the line. Hall can't get there. It's swept away by Dalot, and it's out for another throw-in. They keep coming.
It's keep coming by Newcastle, and I have to say it's going to be a nervy 10 minutes, and they'll probably be another 3, 4, 5 minutes added on. So can they hang out? Can they hang on to a clean sheet?
I mean, if they do hold on to this, it will be a testament to the work rate rather than the individual quality that's on show, because they're missing so many of the individual talents that have got them into good positions before tonight. And for Newcastle, if they can't find a way through this stubborn Manchester United backline, there'll be a severe amount of disappointment, because this is a depleted Manchester United. Here it's Cunha. running through the middle of the centre circle. He's got Dorgu to his left, but he goes for goal himself as he gets to the edge of the D and drags the shot wide. Xerxes had made a good run down the right. Dorgu was an option on the left. He decided to go for glory, Steve Bruce. Was it the right option?
Well, the finish is the awful side of it. I have to say, he's a little flick in the middle of the park. It was delightful to watch. And Fletcher made a wonderful challenge. And for me, he's just a little bit off balance. And his decision to shoot with his left foot, maybe the wrong option.
8.5 to go. Talksport on Boxing Day. And Manchester United lead by a goal to nil. Patrick Dorgu, but here is Joe Willock down the right-hand side, cross into the box, and it's too close to Lomans, who makes a good smart save. Reached his arms out across the 6-yard line, grabbed it from the evening sky, and will clear it away. But it is relentless black and white pressure on the Manchester United goal away to our right-hand side, with the odd ball released upfield for Manchester United to chase and try and make something out of.
Zerski's got to have a little bit more presence than that. He's come onto the pitch as he's got to try and get a hold of the ball a little bit more aggressive. Long ball up to him, and he's not really made any effort to get it.
Wissa trying to get away from Heaven, goes back to Lomans, cleared upfield. Chow gets there ahead of Xerxes. I did wonder actually when they brought Xerxes on. He's not the greatest at holding the ball up, is he? He is a big physical guy.
He's got some wonderful ability, but he's got to help his team out there and show a bit more intent to get a hold of the ball.
Yeah, it's been levelled at him a few times. Here is Gordon down the left for Newcastle. Joe Linton back to Cher, and then back to Guimaraes, edge of the area, right-footed cross in towards the far post, headed away by Dorgu, comes back out as far as Willock, edge of the box right side. He's got support here from Miley and Barnes. Barnes now with a low ball, blocked by Dorgu, comes back out to Willock. His cross is an arcing one towards the far edge of the 6-yard box. It's over Joe Linton's head and runs out for a throw-in. Well, they keep coming in. The balls keep swirling into the Manchester United box, but no one can find the finishing touch in black and white.
Now that's what it's all about, isn't it? Fine margins, and they've had total domination of the second half. I have to say it's been backs to the wall for Manchester United now for the vast majority of it. Can they find a breakthrough? Can they get an opportunity? You'd like to think they would with about 10 minutes to play.
They've had something like 35 touches in the opponent's penalty area tonight, but yet they still can't find the goal. But they've had a lot of opportunities, and Eddie Howe will be a little bit frustrated if they were to walk away from this stadium with nothing. Not something that happens very often to Newcastle in recent times.
No, they've done very, very well over the last few years in particular. Man U could give them the ball back to them every time they got a chance to try and take it.
Again, Manchester United trying to get it clear, but they're literally all inside their final third. Here's Barnes, edge of the area, back to Gordon. And I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do there, because he wasn't leaning back, he was trying to get his head over the ball, but he shoveled it as it's gone back to the edge of the area to him, right over the top of the crossbar. It's a poor finish.
He'll be disappointed with the finish. It was probably, the cutback was probably needed to take a touch really. It was first time to hit that with the ball whipped into him so quickly. He'd be disappointed that he's not got on target.
Well, it is the scoreboard end, and he nearly took out the scoreboard. And Eddie Howe roars in frustration again that another move doesn't end up with a shot that troubles Senna Lomans in the Manchester United goal. There are now just 5 minutes still to play here. Manchester United about to pick up a third win in 6 games, just 1 defeat in that time. And it's a victory that will do them the world of good in the table if they can hold on.
I think Martinez is struggling. I think he's just said to the bench, I don't think I can carry on. I wouldn't be surprised if they had to make a substitution.
Manchester United will be up to 5th, level on points with Chelsea if it stays like this. Barnes into the box though, trying to do something about that from a Newcastle perspective. Steered away by Fletcher and out for a throw on this near side. Tyrell Malacia is about to come on for Manchester United. The lesser spots it, Tyrell Malacia. He's going to replace Martinez in the next few minutes. Guimaraes has it for Newcastle. They're on the attack here. Played out towards the left-hand side. Collected by Gordon. Back in it goes. Then it's with Malik Chiao out to the right. Onto the path of Willock. Willock to Miley, right side of the penalty area. Blocked by Dorgu. He's gone down. Referee says head injury, so he's going to stop it. And 2 more Manchester United changes are about to take place. And Dorgu slowly, gingerly getting back to his feet. The Newcastle supporters believe that this is a malevolent, cynical stoppage from Patrick Dorgu, who's looking to run the clock down and disrupt the momentum of the attack.
Thing is, though, now he's got to be off the pitch for at least 30 seconds.
Well, they're going to take off Luke Shaw and bring on Malacia, and take off Martinez and bring on Fredrickson. Tyler Fredrickson, who's 20 years of age. Tyrell Malacia hasn't played for Manchester United since they beat FCSB Steaua Bucharest back in January last year. He's since had a 6-month loan move to PSV Eindhoven, so he's coming on. And Tyler Fredrickson has got one of those really unfortunate records as a Manchester United player, where whenever he ends up playing, they don't seem to win. He will hope that that changes tonight. And so, will the manager who's decided to bring him on at the expense of Lisandro Martinez.
2 experienced defenders going off there, Luke Shaw and Martinez. Maybe physically there's something wrong, but it's a big, big call to see out this last 5, 6, 7 minutes. You can understand Martinez is his first game back, and you can hear by the reception that he's getting, he's a firm favourite with his attitude to defend.
Well, absolutely. He gets a standing ovation from Old Trafford because he's been a big part of them seeing this out, if indeed they do. Tyler Fredrickson comes on. His previous appearances saw them lose away at Grimsby in the League Cup, lose at Brentford, and lose here to Wolverhampton Wanderers at the end of last season. Can he change that unwanted record in the final 2 minutes plus stoppage time at the end of this game? Hall comes forward, plays it to Gordon. Gordon, edge of the United box, swings it into Cher, who loops a header towards goal. It's over the top of the crossbar and it's going to go out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Keep an eye on the clock. Late goals and Newcastle United go hand in hand. There have been 18 goals scored in the last 10 minutes of Newcastle matches all season. There's usually a little bit of a late twist when it comes to Newcastle United.
And I'm trying to see what Man United's back four is now, by the way.
Well, I think it's everyone.
A young centre-half, Yoro at right back.
Well, the way it looks is Dallo at right midfield, Yoro at right back, Fredrickson and Heaven as the 2 centre-backs.
Young pair and centre-backs.
Malacia left back, Dorgu as a left midfielder, Fletcher in the centre alongside Ugarte and Xerxes, and Cunha up top with Xerxes dropping into midfield to help out his mates, and he's going to have to do a lot of helping out for the next minute or so. Newcastle pressing for an equaliser, as there have been ever since kick-off at the beginning of the second 45. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. That goal from Dorgu seems an age ago now. Newcastle have done all the running in the second half. Willock. It will show great character, though, if Manchester United can see this through, especially with the personnel that are on the pitch. I mean, basically, it's a B team. Here is Bruno Guimaraes, onto Hall, now Gordon. They haven't really created enough clear-cut chances, Newcastle. They'll be disappointed with that, but they might do now. With Hall into the area, looking for Visa. He comes through to Miley and hits it over the top of the crossbar. And he smashed that goal as it went right over the top, and there's 7 minutes of added time for Newcastle to find an equaliser and for Manchester United to hang on, Steve Bruce.
Well, that's Anthony Gordon with a wonderful opportunity now. Lewis Smiley shifts it onto his left foot. Again, he'll be so disappointed that he hasn't hit the target. Blazed it over the top of the bar from 12 yards out. Big opportunity that.
That's a great chance.
Great chance.
It's pulled in by Gordon. It goes all the way through to Miley after a little flick from Wisa. And he has just got to hit the target, and Manchester United are in trouble. He didn't, and it's still 1-0 to Manchester United in stoppage time. Ball headed away by Miley. Runs across the body of Joel Linton. Back into Cher. Across comes Chow. Now it's on to Miley once again. Miley goes infield. Bruno Guimaraes with a low ball into the box. Joel Linton with a header takes a deflection. And it bounces into the arms of Senna Lomans. You are listening to Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now, enterprise.co.uk. 6 minutes at the 7 to play. And it's been a really tough 45 minutes for these Manchester United supporters who have needed to encourage their team. They've needed to get behind their team. Now, there's a yellow card here for Matthias Cunha coming out. And did he whack him on the back of the head, or did he do something to Lewis Hall?
Flailing arm, it looked like from here for arm sitting, but it's obviously got enough to get a yellow card.
So the last thing that they need is for an accumulation of those for their star striker. Just maybe a glancing blow as the two went for the ball. It was unnecessary actually from Cunha.
Yeah, very, very unnecessary. Unnecessary free kick. Just going to be smashed up now into United's territory, Manchester United's territory. Two young centre-backs now have to deal with this situation.
It's only his first yellow card of the season in the Premier League for Matthias Cunha, who's still protesting about that as the free kick is taken. It's sent into Bruno Guimaraes. She moves into the centre circle. Everybody is inside the Manchester United half of the field, and almost everybody is sandwiched on the edge of the penalty area. Bruno Guimaraes from Gordon gets it back in a quarterback position, looking to get them on the front foot as they flood the box here. Newcastle share up from the back. So is Malik Chiao. Bruno Guimaraes to Miley, who's being pressurised by Ugarte. It's been excellent, diligent defending by a very fit Manchester United team. Whatever you say about the quality that's on show and the personnel, they have worked their socks off to try and stop Newcastle from finding a way through. Newcastle will rue missed opportunities. Ball into the box looking for Joel Linton. Goalkeeper's come, and the goalkeeper has claimed spectacularly.
Just what you need. You're a central defender, and you're a young central defender at that. And your ball's smashed into your box, and you see your goalkeeper coming out to come and take it. Wonderful from Lamens.
He has done brilliantly to go over the top of everybody and grab that ball from the night sky. Fletcher dabs it to Dorgu. Excellent work by him to hold the ball up inside Newcastle territory. Cunha wants it played centrally. Heaven has slipped. The ball's gone back to Cunha, who's immediately engaged by Willock. Ugarte has done well today. Prods it forward, picked up by Hall. 94 minutes on the clock. Is there going to be a dramatic late equaliser for Newcastle United? The team that always win on Boxing Day against the team that almost seemingly lose on Boxing Day. And that result is unfolding here once again. Gordon to the far post, too close to Lomans, who's dropped it inside the penalty area. He's lost it, he's through his legs, and then he's reacted and dropped on it. He got a little bit fortunate there, did Senna Lomans. He completely lost his coordinates and lost the ball. Didn't know where it was. It's behind you.
He was a bit unfortunate there after taking a wonderful cross a minute before that. Fumbled one and dropped it between his legs, and if that had fell to a Newcastle player, it would have been rather embarrassing.
Yes, it would have been a little bit of pantomime, I think, had that have gone sneaking through. And Manchester United, who play tonight and then watch everybody else duel over the weekend. We've got that game between Nottingham Forest and Man City tomorrow morning. That's upcoming on Talksport. And we're on air from 11 o'clock. Here's Gordon left side, twisting and turning down the outside of the penalty area. Produces a cross. It's a decent one to the far post. It's eluded Lomans this time. And it's gone past everyone in black and white and out for a goal kick.
He's been a big threat in the second half. How many crosses has Anthony Gordon put into the box, gone down the line with his left foot and into his right foot? Been a real threat. Unfortunately, he just hasn't got that one quite right. Just sailed by the far post.
Well, it's another big opportunity that hasn't been converted by Newcastle United, who really struggled to really stretch Lomans as a goalkeeper. They've had chances, but their efforts have been high or wide or over the top of the crossbar, wide of the post. He hasn't had to make too many saves, and that's going to be really frustrating when Hugh speaks to Eddie Howe in the aftermath of the game. We've nearly got 7 minutes of added time played. On it goes by Gordon towards the left and Joel Linton. One last chance possibly. Into Hall. Loro throws his body at the ball and diverts it away. It comes out towards the near side and it's picked up by Dorgu. Dorgu drives it forward. It goes back to Malacia. Malacia chips it forward. Xerxes trying to keep hold of it. He can't do so. It runs off his toes rather casually. It goes straight to the arms of Ramsdale. So there might be one last chance for Newcastle. 30 seconds of added time still to be played. Up it goes to the edge of the area. Cher complaining about the delivery from Hall. Willock trying to keep it in. Cunha puts it out. It's going to be a Newcastle United throw. They need to get the ball back in play and they need to get it forward and get it forward quickly. Bruno Guimaraes is on the ball midway inside the Manchester United half. Is there a way forward up to Chow or Visa or Gordon or Cher? It's gone wide to the left. Barnes, 96 minutes 54 seconds into the box. Fredrickson with a header away out to the far side, goes out for another throw. The referee still hasn't blown the whistle. It's back with Hall being urged to put it in the box. Anthony Taylor being urged to blow the whistle. It comes up as far as Bruno Guimaraes, who plays it out to the left. It's on towards Joe Linton, headed away by Heaven. Manchester United have been clawing their way towards a victory here. They've been hanging on and hanging on and hanging on, and they have done it. Somehow.
Well, you have to give them absolutely 100% effort they've give. They haven't been very, very spectacular in the second half by all means, but my God, what a performance they've given. Some of the younger players are all kept the clean sheet. Wonderful, wonderful back-to-the-wall stuff. From a depleted Man United team, you have to say.
Talk about backs to the wall. Manchester United without 7 first-team players, lost Mason Mount at half-time. They replaced him with a teenager, one of several that ended on the pitch, defending a very slender lead, which was earned in the 25th minute, and they hang on by their fingernails right to the very last to get all 3 points and continue the trend of being the Boxing Day kings. They find a way to win despite a makeshift team and what has traditionally been a leaky defence. They've only kept 1 clean sheet all season before today in the Premier League, and that was against Sunderland here. Now they've collected another one against their North East rivals, Newcastle United. Newcastle, their wait for back-to-back wins at Old Trafford goes to over 90 years now. But Manchester United, they're the only team to host a Premier League Day, Boxing Day bash this year. And boy, did they give up some entertainment. They lost several attendees through injury and ailment, but somehow they found a way to win. Grit, character and a bit of good fortune. Newcastle United will rue missed opportunities. They were very good in the second half without being clinical enough to test Senna Lomans, and it will feel like a missed opportunity for Eddie Howe, especially when he looks back at that Manchester United team sheet. Patrick Dorgu with the winner. Manchester United winners by a 1-0.
Well, that's why you don't praise Manchester United for conceding 4 at home to Bournemouth, and that is why you don't praise Manchester United for valiant defeats away at Aston Villa, because at their worst, riddled with injuries, missing their best players, this is what this football club should be all about: winning. Winning at all costs, whether it's superstars or academy kids. Manchester United are about winning football matches, and that is what we saw this evening with kids from the academy with crazy substitutions. They take all 3 points.
Yeah, there was a period in the second half in particular I didn't think they would hang on. Newcastle had 2 big opportunities, didn't they? One to Anthony Gordon in particular, where you think you would have done better. The goalkeeper really hasn't made a save that I can remember. He's come and took a couple of crosses, but certainly they were back to the wall. Little bit of resilience, little bit of fight in them. Up against it, when you're up against it, Man U are always at their best. And we've seen it today. 3-4 kids on the pitch have showed that they've clung on to get a...
They'd have crumbled in the past. A year ago, that team gets battered.
Yeah, well, listen, in the second half, in the second half. It was relentless from Newcastle, but they stuck at it, didn't they? They defended as if they meant to and kept it away from their goalkeeper. And as I said, I can't really remember the goalkeeper making any saves at all, where Newcastle will be disappointed that I haven't hit the target, particularly the chance that filed to Miley and of course Anthony Gordon's.
You see the celebration police out for Manchester United because they've been hugging on that pitch. The young players getting congratulations from some of the older heads like Casemiro, like Martinez. You know, they're being built up as Manchester United players, getting to know the badge and what this club should be all about. And these fans leave with a feeling that they're meant to leave Old Trafford with all 3 points.
I mean, look, they're getting a standing ovation and they haven't played well at all, but they understand, the supporters understand of what they're up against. They've got 7 or 8 players, top players missing here today, and a lot of the young ones have come in out the youth team. Look at the boy Cunha now celebrating as if he's won something. Good to see that it means something to them, and well done to the young lads who've come in and absolutely ran the socks off.
The Manchester United fans in the Stretford end, to a man or woman on their feet, and child of course, applauding their team down the tunnel. It feels like a massive 3 points. They saw who was missing, injuries during the game as well, and of course a very strong second half showing from Newcastle United. What did it take from United to resist that? And also, are we right to expect more?
I don't ever recall a more dominant performance from Newcastle against any team, you know, any Man United team anyway. It was sheer dominance, but the problems that they've had and they've got with their injuries to their big players, as I've said, and the young lads who've came along and stuck at it, showed a bit of resilience, bit of fight, bit of spirit, if that's what you want to call it, backs to the wall. They were absolutely terrific to a man.
And Newcastle United, questions for Eddie Howe in terms of why his side couldn't break through that tonight.
Well, I think he'd be disappointed in the first half. Second half in particular, they did everything that they could. They've got a few opportunities. They find margins, and it's about taking your chances. They've had 1 or 2 really good opportunities later on and haven't taken them.
Some will say they deserve something from this game. I think that might be a fair comment. That is essentially a reserve team in the later stages of the game, last 40 minutes or so from Manchester United. We could barely tell the players were looking around. What's my job? What's your job?
I was trying to analyse and say what sort of formation they're playing, because we're obviously obsessed with formations with Amarin, because he sticks with his 3-4-3 or whatever he does. I think they were playing a back 6 towards the end. Who was playing where, I'm not too quite sure, but what they did show, and the crowd appreciated it, is that little bit of grit, as I said, determination, that spirit that they're not going to get beat, they're not going to concede, and they did it fantastically well.
Winnable run for United now, they'll hope anyway. Wolves at home before trips to Burnley and Leeds, and for Newcastle too. They've got Burnley away next, Eddie Howe's former club, before Crystal Palace and Leeds at home. Newcastle, they need to pick up some wins. 11th in the table right now is not where they want to be as they approach the end of the year.
Yeah, towards the halfway mark, but they could have went into 5th if they had won today, wouldn't it? It's that sort of tight. It's sort of tight at the back. They've got to improve their away form. Their away form at the moment is awful. At home especially, they're very, very, very good. Away from home, they're not so clever these days.
Sam Matterface just coughing up a storm beside us. You going to be okay for the City Ground tomorrow?
Yeah. I think we might need a substitute here, by the way.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Well, Sam, thank you very much indeed. Manchester United's next game at home to Wolves, by the way, exclusively live on Talksport 2. That's Tuesday the 30th, 8:15 start for that one. Newcastle trip to Burnley, exclusive on the Talksport app. All 10 games between the 30th and New Year's Day, exclusive to the Talksport network. So make sure you've downloaded the Talksport app. Remember, tomorrow lunchtime, Nottingham Forest versus Manchester City live on Talksport. 2:30 game day live with Adrian Durham, Troy Deeney and Dean Ashton. All the goals as they go in, including Arsenal, Brighton, Liverpool taking on Wolves and Burnley facing Everton. But time for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here for It hero on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Steve Bruce, who have you gone for?
Oh, it has to be Dorgu, doesn't it? His night, I have to say, he was terrific in the first half in particular. Wonderful goal he scored. A great goal that he'll probably not score a better one in all his career at Man United than his first one.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant performance from Patrick Dorgu, employed a little bit higher up, and he got the goal that took all 3 points. He's our here for it hero, man of the match from tonight's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.